the Empire's most outstanding sword maiden, wanted to instruct a boy in swordsmanship, but he refused on the spot. I don't want to be instructed by someone whose strength is inferior to mine. With just a casual swing of his sword, he easily broke through the aura defense the princess was so proud of. What she didn't know was that the boy was Kyle, the hero who saved the world 5,000 years ago. However, for some reason, the history handed down did not record anything about him. 5,000 years ago, the world was about to encounter destruction. To oppose the primordial evil, Erebus, four great heroes stepped forward. The founder of the nebula, the elf archmage, Luna, God's blacksmith, the dwarf master smith, Dweno, hero, the beast man warrior, Aaron, and finally, the king of wisdom, the dragon, Lysinus. But because Erebus's power was extremely strong, it eventually led to everyone losing their lives one after another. Thus, everyone placed their hope on the last hero. He tried his best to heal the dragon Lysinus. However, it was not enough. Kyle, do you remember when we first met? We promised to save the world. I'm sorry for leaving you alone. Please, take the dragon heart and move forward. At this moment, Kyle began to absorb the dragon heart's magic power. Thank you for being with me, Lysinus, Aaron, Dweno, and Luna. The next second, an incomparably powerful magic power erupted from the man's body. Even if he burned his own body to ash, he would not hesitate. And so, he had to face of this great primordial evil alone. Erebus, I will tear your soul to shreds completely. This person was known as the hero of the beginning, Kyle. In the end, he defeated Erebus at the cost of his life. Now he is reincarnated into the world 5,000 years later, only to discover that in the history passed down for over 5,000 years, he became the only hero whose records have completely disappeared. The scene shifts, and time quickly arrives at 15 years later. At this moment, the teacher is loudly announcing the Delan Royal School has been selected as a testing site for Lemurn entrance exams this year. Just then, the teacher noticed Leoplav, who was dozing off to the side. Student Leoplav, I will assume you fully understand all the coursework and ask you a question. 5,000 years ago, what ritual had to be performed to be called a hero? Leoplav, age 15, believed that as long as one was famous, people would love and support you. But the teacher was not satisfied with his answer. Just then, a red-haired male raised his hand. In ancient times, there were no means to receive recognition from God, so people would conduct selections through sacred rituals. A prime example of this is the blood ritual. An excellent answer. Our kingdom's greatest magic genius, Gulliver Trandon. I'm looking forward to this year's Lemurn entrance exams as well. At that time, meeting God was an easy thing. Sacred rituals weren't a thing. To honor the great heroes who stood against Erebus, the gods bestowed a miracle upon the mortal world. The hero records were created to honor the heroes. But why was I the only one whose existence was erased? Just then, the crowd was attracted by the commotion on the side. Look, that's the Zerdinger family. It's Celia Zerdinger. Subsequently, a broadcast announcement rang out in the classroom. Because members of the Zerdinger family needed to visit the school, all students were requested to proceed to the lecture hall. However, Leoplav had absolutely no interest in this kind of thing, and immediately turned around and left the place. At this moment, Leoplav is finishing his training. He had to make sure he wasn't neglecting his physical training. However, he knew that his body in this current life was better than the one in his past life. Just then, his mother suddenly launched an attack on him. He immediately chose to raise his sword to block it down. It's been a while since we've had a swordsmanship duel. Relying on mediocre ability won't get you into Lemurn. This will be your final test, Leo. The next second, both sides launched attacks at each other. Do you want me to put in a bit more effort? Hearing this, Leoplav immediately swung his sword and repelled her. Mother, don't you think this is a bit much? What are you joking about? You clearly blocked everything. The next second, she suddenly unleashed an intense thrusting strike. Oh no, I used too much force. Just as she thought Leoplav was about to be stabbed. At that moment, he dodged it sideways, then backhandedly thrust out a sword strike. Are you alright, mother? With this, the battle finally came to an end. His mother was shocked. This child's talent was truly too powerful. However, Leoplav, have you decided to go to Lemurn? The Human Hero Academy. Lemurn Academy. This is the academy that keeps the hero records and the most complete information on the heroes of the four races. It is also the place most likely to preserve my records. Of course, I have decided. The people of the Zerdinger family are preparing to rest at our residence. Although I am somewhat reluctant, I will ask the deputy owner, G.I. Zerdinger, to teach you the family aura technique. Then you will definitely be able to grow to a level where you can enter Lemurn next year. But little did his mother know, Leoplav was planning to enroll this year. The scene shifts, and at this moment the Zerdinger family arrived at the Plav residence. Celia Zerdinger, the sword maiden of the Zerdinger family, was very puzzled. Why do we have to come to this kind of insignificant family? I just want to focus on the Lemurn entrance exam. Aren't you curious about that kid named Leoplav? The boy who claims no interest in the Zerdinger family? This was G.I. Zerdinger, deputy master of the Zerdinger family, an aspiring knight who can't even handle aura. I'm sure he's completely insignificant. A moment later, Leo's father and mother hospitably received the two. They were Lena Plav and Dade Plav. Welcome to our residences, G.I. Zerdinger. Introduce yourself, Celia. This is the Martianess Plav. I am Celia Zerdinger. I will be in your care for this week. And she suddenly realized that the wife of Marquis Plav looked very much like her own father, with black hair and red pupils. Could she be a member of the family? That's right, Lena is precisely your aunt. Later, G.I. Zerdinger is conversing with Lena Plav. We went to the academy just now, but Leo Plav said he wasn't interested in us and went home. If this offended you, then I apologize to you on his behalf. After all, he isn't interested in anything other than training, and G.I. Zerdinger was very curious. What kind of child is Leo Plav exactly? His talent is powerful to an outrageous degree. Sister, do you really think Leo Plav is qualified to inherit the flame of Zerdinger? Of course. However, this isn't because he is my son, but because he is fully deserving of it. Since sister has said so, I can't help but look forward to it a bit. However, I need to personally test that child's aptitude. At this moment, Leo Plav was meditating in the training grounds. Is it finally complete? The vessel capable of containing everything. The reason I didn't practice aura was because the moment I accepted aura, my body would naturally specialize in aura, leading to a loss of opportunity to accumulate magical power and spiritual power. In my past life, if I could have perfectly controlled the magical power, spiritual power, and aura, I wouldn't have left behind behind the seeds of disaster. In this life, I will learn how to control them, starting first with aura. Just then, a figure appeared in front of me. Are you Leoplav? Your basics are practiced very solidly. How about I give you some special instruction in swordsmanship? I am Celia Zerdinger. People call me the Sword Maiden. I see. However, I don't want someone whose strength is inferior to mine to teach me swordsmanship. Are you saying you are stronger than me? No. In a life or death battle, you might be stronger than me because I can't use aura. But if it's swordsmanship, that's a different matter. Hearing this, Celia Zerdinger was furious. Immediately, she looked for a long sword. Since you are so confident, then spar with me. Do you think learning aura will make you stronger than me? I'll let you see the cruelty of reality. If I win, you have to be my servant for the week I stay here. Hearing this, Leo smirked, and if I win, Celia took a serious stance in response. If I lose, then I will be your maid. Then, shall we get started right away? Leoplav suddenly launched an attack at her. I didn't expect your speed to be quite fast, but relying just on this isn't enough. Leoplav pulled back for a big swing, and he suddenly delivered a heavy sword strike. The powerful force was something even Celia Zerdinger couldn't withstand. Before she could react, Leoplav had already struck out with a thrust. Wait a minute, I can't block this. Seeing this, Celia Zerdinger immediately used aura to defend. You used aura armor. Didn't we agree to purely compare swordsmanship? I did it by instinct, not on purpose. Hearing this, Leoplav still said he would win in any case. The gap between not wielding aura and wielding aura is like heaven and earth. At this moment, Leoplav slowly removed his weight magic bracelets. Do you want to test that statement? The next second, an even more powerful slash instantly descended, shattering Celia Zerdinger's aura defense on the spot. Damn it, this guy is really too strong. On the other side, G.I. Zerdinger and Lena Plav were walking towards the direction of the training grounds. Leoplav also happened to walk out of the training grounds, and subsequently, his mother signaled him to greet G.I. Zerdinger. Hello, my name is Leoplav. My name is G.I. Zerdinger. You should know that I am your uncle, right? I'm happy to meet you. By the way, Leo, have you finally met Celia? But at this moment, Celia Zerdinger was carried out by two soldiers. She was completely in shock. What exactly is going on? Did he defeat Celia Zerdinger before even learning aura? You defeated Celia Zerdinger. That's truly amazing. However, what agreement did you make? Nothing much. Just that the loser has to be the winner's servant. So for this week, Celia Zerdinger has to be my servant. Although agreements are important, you cannot let her be a servant because she is a member of the Zerdinger family. I wish you can reconsider the agreement, and I will give you corresponding compensation. But Leoplav refused on the spot. This is the agreement between me and Celia Zerdinger. Since she shoulders the family's honor, she must take responsibility for it. Even if I teach you the family aura technique, an aura technique taught just to save a niece from embarrassment is an aura technique not worth learning. Hearing this, G.I. Zerdinger's expression immediately tightened. Do you mean the family aura technique has no value to you and you would treat a Zerdinger as a maid? Of course, that is indeed the case. Don't you think your words are very reckless? I am not insulting the Zerdinger family. If Lord G.I. Zerdinger gave me the aura technique as a reward for defeating Celia Zerdinger, I would accept it very happily. But you are giving it to me to cover up Celia Zerdinger's mistake, which means you do not acknowledge my strength. Do you think that if Celia Zerdinger hadn't let her guard down, she wouldn't have lost to me? Even if Celia Zerdinger used her full strength, I would still have won. Hearing this, G.I. Zerdinger revealed a faint smile, refusing me because he dislikes my attitude. What an incredible character. If only he were a member of the family. Send Celia Zerdinger to the maid's room. From now on, in private, feel free to call me uncle. A moment later, Leoplav turned and left the place. Sister, didn't you want me to teach him the family aura technique? I'll try to convince Big Brother to let Leoplav learn the Phoenix Breath. At this moment, inside Leoplav's room, in accordance with the agreement, for this week I am your maid. This outfit actually suits you quite well. The ordinary maid outfit matches your gorgeous appearance very well. Although these words are a bit forward, I don't mean to offend you. It's just that I once had a friend who especially liked to praise others' beauty, and I was influenced by them unknowingly. He always said everlasting beauty is always the best. After the world is at peace, I want to spread beauty to everyone. Just then, Celia Zerdinger noticed the book in Leoplav's hands. Could this book be a special training manual? This is just a fairy tale book I've read since I was young. Hearing this, Celia Zerdinger was stunned on the spot. It looks like you really like the hero of the beginning. There are books about Kyle everywhere here. Indeed, because among the great hero's achievements, the ones we are uncertain about who contributed to them, I believe many of them were actually done by the hero of the beginning. What are you talking about? He's a fraud from a later generation trying to claim the deeds of real heroes. Most people think so. Of course, I am the same. I see. Anyway, training will start after breakfast. Can I train together with you, young master? I must find out the secret of why you are so strong. As long as you can keep up with me. Later, Celia Zerdinger was kneeling on the ground, gasping for breath. When your stamina reaches its limit, your reactions become slow, and your movements falter. You'll become more vulnerable this way, pushing the body to its limits. Is this what you call training? Of course, compared to the past, after the development of aura techniques, people have neglected physical training. After all, strengthening the body also strengthens aura. At this moment, Celia Zerdinger took an attack stance once again. Don't underestimate me. The next second, she suddenly swung her sword to attack Leoplav, but she was instantly repelled by his sword, and was even knocked flying away. This is difficult, don't you think? Saying this, Leoplav handed the bracelet to her. This bracelet uses weight magic. Starting tomorrow, remember to wear it when you train. Later in the courtyard. At this moment, Celia Zerdinger is out of breath in the yard. This is a good experience for Celia Zerdinger. Before entering Lemurn Academy, let her feel some frustration first. Just then, G.I. Zerdinger called out to Leoplav. I want to persuade the head of the family to teach you the Phoenix Breath. Hearing this, Leoplav was somewhat surprised. The Phoenix Breath is the origin of the Zerdinger family's aura technique, and only those acknowledged in the family can learn it. Celia Zerdinger, however, said with a determined face, Father won't agree easily. Of course, there is a condition. You must pass Lemurn Academy's entrance examination. This is very dangerous for Leoplav, who cannot use aura yet. I indeed do not have practical combat experience. However, this was only the case in this life. But as the hero of the beginning, Kyle, he had plenty of combat experience already. Leoplav, what do you think? Father and mother told me me to respect your wishes, so I will pass the entrance exam. At this moment, G.I. Zerdinger revealed a satisfied smile. This kid already had plans to participate in the entrance exam. Subsequently, the two launched into training again. Time quickly arrived on the day of the Lemurn Academy entrance examination. Are you nervous? But Leo Ploff quickly reassured Celia Zerdinger he was feeling just fine. At this moment, Gulliver Trandon greeted the two. He was surprised that Leo Ploff was here. Leo Ploff, you can't even use aura. Why are you here? But also, how have you been, Miss Celia Zerdinger? At this, both Leo Ploff and Celia Zerdinger directly ignored him. I'm Gulliver Trandon. We met when you visited school before. Sorry, I really can't remember who you are. Subsequently, Celia Zerdinger pulled Leo Ploff, wanting to leave the place. Just then, a voice called out to her, and subsequently, two figures slowly appeared in front of them. And these were the siblings of the Llewellyn family, Abad Llewellyn and Chelsea Llewellyn. Celia Zerdinger, long time no see. Leo Ploff was confused. Just who are these people? The Llewellyn family is a hero family of the Empire, just like us. Leo Ploff, you absolutely cannot lose to them in this exam. A Zerdinger absolutely cannot lose to a Llewellyn, but I'm actually a member of the Ploff family. Celia Zerdinger, who is the person beside you? He is called Leo Ploff. He is the son of Marquis 8 Ploff, so it's a small fry. Celia Zerdinger, the top spot is mine. Just then, a voice rang out. It seems everyone is gathered. My name is Albi Geron, a professor at Lemurn Academy. Could it be Albi Geron, known as the Evil Eye Sorcerer? He is a hero recorded in the hero records, a man that is hailed as a hero of this era. Hearing this, Leo Ploff took a closer look. He sensed that the magic power in his left eye seemed very familiar. At this moment, Albi Geron announced the exam rules. The exam is divided into individual combat and monster subjugation. Everyone has to undergo two types of exams. However, I feel this method is very troublesome. The next second, Albi Geron burned the exam rules to ashes with a handful of fire, and immediately after, he pulled a magic book from his jacket. Hero record, open, Albi's world. Chapter, prologue, the forest of monsters. Suddenly, a large magic circle appeared underneath everyone. Albi Geron continued slowly condensing his magic power into his hero record. I hate inefficient things the most, so let's put these two contents together for assessment. And at this time, Leo Ploff remembered a previous lesson in his class. The hero record was not simply an archive of the past. Its true value lay in the fact that the hero record could display the trials experienced by past heroes. If one could clear the hero's world, then one could inherit the power of the previous heroes. This was simply a hero training system. Back at the present, when Leo Ploff opened his eyes again, he actually found they had all been transported to the forest of monsters. This was his first time experiencing the hero's world. At this moment, a voice rang out. The content of the exam is very simple, which is to survive in the forest of monsters. Whether cooperating with each other or opposing each other, you can do anything to survive. People who want to give up can crush the orb in their possession. It looks like this place is still the same as of old, the elf forest before it was corrupted by the demon queen Silatuna. Just as the professor finished explaining the exam rules, quite a few people chose to give up immediately. Many people thought this was just an illusion and nothing to be afraid of. But Leo Ploff didn't think so. Although this was a world materialized from Examiner Albi Geron's memory, everything happening here was real. In other words, encountering danger might really mean death. Just then, Leo Ploff sensed incoming danger. Immediately, he stepped to the side, dodging an arrow aimed directly at him. At the same time, a figure slowly appeared before his eyes. We met just now, isn't that right? I'm glad I have the chance to take out a Zerdinger. Actually, I am from the Ploff family, but you were staying with Celia Zerdinger just now. Saying this, she used magic to summon a wind scythe. Interesting, that spell didn't exist in the past. However, the fundamentals seem to have remained the same. Seeing this, Chelsea Llewellyn revealed a faint smile. Can you really be so calm in front of me? The next second, she began to rotate the wind scythe in her hand, then used her full strength to throw it out. However, Leo Ploff blocked it with just a swing of his sword, the wind scythe landing not too far away behind him. He actually blocked it. It didn't seem like he used aura. Could it be a concealed aura? Your attack is too simple. How about we cooperate? In this exam, the side with more people left at the end wins. As a mage, you need a swordsman to watch your back, right? Unfortunately for you, I am a combat mage. Did you just say my attack was very simple? For a wind-based spell, the attack was too simple. At the same time, Chelsea Llewellyn suddenly launched an attack on him, but at this moment Leo Ploff had long since disappeared without a trace. I actually can't feel a trace of his mana. Just then, Leo Ploff had already flashed to her front. Chelsea Llewellyn did not have any time to react. Leo Ploff delivered a heavy strike to his opponent, flinging the scythe away. The next second, Chelsea Llewellyn knelt on the ground. Then I will use a gentleman's method to request cooperation. On the other side, the crowd was watching the examinee's performance in front of a screen. At this moment, Chelsea Llewellyn was tied firmly to a wooden stake, while Leo Ploff lit a bonfire on the side. The show is about to start. At this moment, Chelsea Llewellyn slowly opened her eyes, not expecting to see the scene before her. So are you willing to cooperate with me? I will never cooperate with you. I don't need anyone else except for my brother. Just as she prepared to use wind magic to untie the bindings, at this moment a red magic circle suddenly lit up. This is a magic ceiling formation. However, Leo Ploff knew he can't maintain it for too long. Do you think this can hold me? I'll break free in no time. Do you really think I'll give you the chance to focus? Suddenly, the fire around Chelsea Llewellyn grew faster and hotter. Seeing that the fire began to burn her clothing, she immediately expressed willingness to cooperate. Then swear in the name of your family. I swear in the name of the Llewellyn family. I, Chelsea Llewellyn, am willing to cooperate with you. Hearing this, Leo Ploff immediately released the rope in his hand. Just then, Chelsea Llewellyn fell from the post. I look forward working with you, Mage of Llewellyn. On the other side, at this moment Albi Geron was gazing at everything on the screen. These students are all low level, and they actually chose to compete with each other instead of survival. They are all utterly foolish. Are the only students who saw through the essence of the exam these two, Celia Zerdinger and Abad Llewellyn, who have worked together. Suddenly, another set of images appeared before his eyes. Is this guy called Leo Ploff? Although his actions by the bonfire just now were strange, achieving a sense of cooperation with Chelsea Llewellyn is already a pass. Although he isn't as powerful as Celia Zerdinger and Abad Llewellyn, Leoplov. I didn't expect him to be a dark horse. At the same time, under the cooperation of the two, they very easily dealt with the monsters in front of them. I feel more at ease when accompanied with a knight. But what exactly is your aura? Why can't I feel your magic power at all? I don't know how to use aura. Whether one knows aura or not isn't important. Building a solid foundation is the most important. It's the same as magic. What do you think is the true essence of wind magic? At this moment, Chelsea Llewellyn suddenly unleashed her magic power, striking out with a hit of wind magic, killing a monster that's been hiding in the bushes. How bold of you to lecture a Llewellyn about wind magic. The power of this move is not bad, but that's not how wind magic should be used. Just then, Leoplov suddenly sensed something, and subsequently signaled Chelsea Llewellyn to stop. These guys have all turned into the appearance of sand and soil. I've never seen monsters who like to eat prey like this before. I seem to understand the conditions for passing this exam. Just then, a magic spell shot straight towards the two. Fortunately, Leoplov reacted in time, saving the both of them from danger. It's truly a pity I didn't take out Chelsea Llewellyn. As long as she is taken out, her companion is nothing. The person speaking was exactly Gulliver Trandon. The crowd then launched attacks on the two, but the next second, the attacker was sent flying by a punch from Leoplov. Seeing this, Gulliver Trandon instantly panicked. Chelsea Llewellyn, please support me. Subsequently, Chelsea Llewellyn joined the battle, and Leoplov became very serious, entering a combat state. At the same time, Gulliver Trandon had long taken this opportunity to flee the place. Celia Zerdinger on the side noticed his figure. The two followed the direction he fled and were surprised at the scene before them. Leoplov and Chelsea Llewellyn had defeated everything around them. Chelsea Llewellyn was immediately glad to see her own brother. How come you two are staying together? Because I proposed that she cooperate. It only took some effort in convincing her. Subsequently, Leoplov began to support the people lying on the ground. What are you doing? We don't need to compete with each other anymore. Capturing this world together is the only way to pass the test. There's a strange phenomenon happening in the forest of monsters. Those monsters have all had their moisture sucked dry. And strangely, don't you feel like there are too few monsters in the forest of monsters? Hearing this, Celia Zerdinger suddenly realized, could it be that a high-level monster that makes monsters afraid has appeared in the forest? Speaking of which, Examiner Albi Geron's first great achievement was defeating such a high-level monster. Just at this time, a ferocious roar came from the depths of the forest. Is the boss finally going to appear? On the other side, at this moment Gulliver Trandon was slowly walking towards the depths of the forest. Damn Leoplov, I'll be the one to take you down. Just then, he suddenly tripped due to a corpse on the ground, and what he didn't notice at all that a colossal spider had already secretly fixed its eyes on him. The boss-level monster, Spider Queen Talatunia. At this moment, Albi Geron was gazing at everything on the screen. Roughly 500 of them have been eliminated. Professor Albi, we need at least 100 examinees to pass. There's only about 50 students remaining in the test. If they don't meet my standards, I'll eliminate them all. Only in moments of crisis would true heroes appear. I didn't expect Leoplov to actually notice the anomaly in the forest, but can they overcome this challenge? At the same time, the crowd was rushing in the direction the roar came from. Damn it, this is too dark. When Celia Zerdinger used magic to illuminate the front, she found that Gulliver Trandon had actually already been swallowed into the monster's mouth. What kind of monster is this exactly? Just as Abad Llewellyn was about to attack, Leoplov interrupted. Break the orb, Gulliver. You can save yourself. Without the slightest hesitation, Gulliver Trandon immediately crushed the bead. The next second, a golden light transported him back to the academy. Seeing this, Abad Llewellyn quickly used wind magic to attack the monster, but this didn't seem to cause much damage to it. Subsequently, the boss's complete form impressively appeared before everyone's eyes. This was the Spider Queen, Talatunia. At this moment, a student suddenly launched an attack on it, but was knocked flying away by a single strike from it. At the same time, Celia Zerdinger decisively drew her sword. I will take it out in one blow. Zerdinger's secret swordsmanship technique, prominence. The next second, a powerful fire skill instantly pierced through the monster's body. However, in just the blink of an eye, the wound healed completely. How is this possible? The gap between a knight and mage's destructive power are worlds apart. Saying this, Abad Llewellyn slowly channeled his magic power, condensing it into a powerful point. The next second, incomparably powerful wind magic shot straight towards the boss. But just then, the boss flashed to his front. Seeing this, Chelsea Llewellyn immediately used magic to save her brother. Abad Llewellyn got slashed, but managed to avoid getting severely injured. Subsequently, Abad Llewellyn landed safely on the ground. What exactly is this monster? The recovery rate is too fast. Just then, Talatunia roared at the students menacingly. She is the daughter of the demon queen of Tartarus Silatuna, who destroyed the elf forest and belongs to Erebus's army. Everyone was shocked to hear the term Tartarus. Sure enough, the magic power in Albi Geron's left that comes from the fairy king. Talatunia is a monster controlling the cursed forest. It ate the right hand of the fairy king who resisted and destroyed the forest where the elves lived. But Luna clearly killed it. It seems like the fairy king's right hand saved it. It wears the ring of life on its right hand, which can provide infinite life energy. Since this monster is the key to passing the exam, then I will defeat it. The next second, Celia Zerdinger and Abad Llewellyn launched attacks on it one after another, but these attacks failed to cause any damage. This monster can resurrect infinitely. Continuing like this will only consume all your magic. So do you have any suggestions? You two need to cooperate with each other. Hearing this, Abad Llewellyn was the first to object. The top spot is mine. If we can't conquer this hero's world, then all members will fail the selection. Instantly, the two were speechless. But even if we cooperate, it'll take some time to charge an attack strong enough to kill it in one blow. During this time, who else can hold off the monster? Isn't there still me? I can give you plenty of time. What are you joking about? You don't even know how to use aura. Although that is so, I can still hold on for about 5 minutes. But what if the attack fails? Such a thing shouldn't happen. Wind and fire have always been partners since long ago. They complement each other very well. Just then, the boss suddenly launched an attack on Leoplov. This brings back memories. Seeing this, he immediately wielded a great axe and chopped off the boss's long leg. Immediately after, Leoplov smashed the axe onto the boss's face. Long time no see. Demon of Tartarus. Long time ago, an elf boy was facing a monster's attack. Just as he he thought everything was about to end. The next second, a holy light descended beside him. To actually dare disturb my hometown and even swallow the Fairy King's right hand, Luna, the great elven hero, began to unleash her magic, and at this moment a thunderbolt instantly fell, repelling the spider monster away. I didn't expect Erebus's influence to reach here. At the same time, Kyle slowly walked in front of the boy. It's okay now, child. Are you alright? But back to the present. At this moment, Leoplav was somewhat surprised. So this is the extent of my abilities without using aura. Subsequently, he signaled to Chelsea Llewellyn, use wind magic to send the fallen weapons nearby flying towards me, but you'll get hurt trying to catch the swords. I will be careful. Hurry up and send the weapons to me. Hearing this, Chelsea Llewellyn immediately used wind magic to assist. At this moment, the weapon in Leoplav's hand was broken by the monster. Just from the sound, Leoplav knew that Chelsea Llewellyn had sent a scimitar and a long sword. With little effort, he was able to easily catch the oncoming weapons. See if you can take this attack. The next second, Leoplav instantly struck out a combination of multiple slashes, but at this moment, the weapons broke apart on the spot. Hearing Leoplav's weapon breaking, Chelsea Llewellyn again used wind magic to assist. Once again, Leoplav was equipped with proper weapons. This guy is clearly about the same age as us, but right now he looks just like a god of war. Meanwhile, Celia Zerdinger silently observed this display, but Abad Llewellyn showed disbelief, so he isn't a small fry. This sensation is the same as ever. If I can't even conquer this insect, those guys in the afterlife will definitely laugh at me. The weapon in Leoplav's hands broke once again, and he called out for another weapon. There aren't any left. That was the last one. Hearing this, Leoplav felt incomparably shocked, but fortunately, Celia Zerdinger's aura magic was already prepared. I'm ready. Move out of the way quickly. The next second, an incomparably powerful fire skill shot out instantly, setting the spider boss on fire, burning on the spot. Subsequently, a ring suddenly fell to the ground. At the same time, a window prompt sounded in front. Albigeron's world. Chapter. Prologue. Forest of Monsters has been conquered. Is it finally over? At this moment, Celia Zerdinger finally let out a long sigh of relief. I didn't expect this guy to actually hold the monster off for 5 minutes. Good job, Leo. This is truly amazing. That's right. Simply like a hero in a fairy tale. Is that so? Of course. I want to be a battle mage and want to learn close quarters combat. I wonder if you can teach me. I hope you can try Leoplav's training. At this moment, Leoplav slowly picked up the ring on the ground. I didn't expect the loot to be this ring. The next second, a fairy impressively appeared before his eyes. Prince Silrid, do you still remember me? I am Kyle. Of course. Silrid revealed a faint smile. It looks like he became the Fairy King, and it seems like Albi got the Eye of Magic as a reward for finding this treasure. At the same time, the exam site return countdown began. The reward for clearing this stage is the Fairy King's Pact. Gazing at the face in front of him, Leoplav somehow recognized this unknown figure. However, on the other side, Lemurn Academy's headmaster, Kallian Baydan, slowly opened his mouth and said, the Western exam seems to have ended. I didn't expect it to be so fast. Other regions are still taking exams. However, how many students did Professor Albigeron pass this time? Probably 40 or so. That's considered quite a lot. I thought only 10 people would qualify this time, but currently, they still don't know who the top spot belongs to, despite having Celia Zerdinger and Abad Llewellyn. However, there is a guy who was recommended as the freshman representative. Is it Celia Zerdinger or Abad Llewellyn? Recommended by Professor Albigeron? Neither. This time it's an unfamiliar name. At the same time, on the exam field, the crowd was constantly chanting the two's names, but Albigeron gazed at Leoplav on the screen and fell into deep thought. Freshman representative recommendation, Leoplav. Subject is night studies. Recommendation reason, he is a hero in the making. I am really curious about this student, since even that Albigeron said so. At this moment, Leoplav was lying in the pool. I didn't expect the clearance reward to be the Fairy King's Pact. Even if someone clears an existing hero world, it is impossible to obtain any rewards. But I got a reward. What could this mean? Just as Leoplav was thinking about this question, at this moment his mother suddenly appeared before his eyes. Leoplav, do you know why your mother, was expelled from the Zerdinger family? In the past, to save my companions, I lost the flame of Zerdinger. However, I have never regretted my choice. Leoplav, I hope you can use your talent and power on the right path. Congratulations on getting into Lemurn Academy, my son. At this moment, a portal opened with a view of a city. So, this is Lemuria, the center of the world, and that right there is the Lemurn Academy. At this moment, G.I. Zerdinger's voice rang out. Congratulations on passing Lemurn's entrance exam. For the past month, the family has been holding meetings. Do you know why? Could it be that the successor to the Phoenix Breath has been decided? That's right. Although your mother left the family, you are still my sister's son, and those elders are very satisfied that you passed the Western exam. Saying this, G.I. Zerdinger handed a subspace key to Leoplav. Leoplav slowly turned the key as instructed. The next second, a book appeared before his eyes. Drop your fresh blood on it. Without the slightest hesitation, Leoplav immediately bit his finger, and fresh blood dripped into the book. The next second, a golden light instantly lit up. From now on, only you can read this book. The process of learning the Zerdinger secret technique isn't easy, but I actually feel you will learn it right away. Congratulations on becoming a member of the Zerdinger family. At this moment, Leoplav was waiting in the city. Is this the place agreed upon with Celia Zerdinger? Just then, a young girl bumped head-on into Leoplav. At this moment, she slowly expressed apology towards Leoplav. I'm sorry, I didn't see the front one walking. After quickly gathering the books dropped on the ground, she turned and left, but left behind a student ID card. Chloe Muller, so it's a freshman at Lemurn Academy. A moment later, Leoplav came to a shop. Seeing his arrival, Celia Zerdinger was complaining endlessly. Why are you so slow? Uniforms, major textbooks, there's a whole pile of stuff to buy. Sorry, I met Uncle G.I. Zerdinger. Hearing this, Celia Zerdinger was immediately excited to hear the news. So, how did it go? At this time, Leoplav slowly snapped his fingers. The next second, a powerful fire aura surrounded him. Seeing this, Celia Zerdinger felt incomparably shocked. How is this possible? I spent 3 weeks just learning the basics. Leoplav, what on earth are you? The scene shifts, and the crowd was waiting by the shore for the ship to approach. At this moment, a voice rang out. shocked. Hello everyone, I am the Lemurn professor in charge of the first year night department, Inalendu. From now on, we are moving to Lemurn Academy. Everyone please get on the boat quickly. And so, the ship sailed into deeper waters. At this moment, Leo Plav and Celia Zerdinger were dressed in their uniforms. A moment later, a voice stopped the two. Wait, that couple over there, I want to chat with you. My name is Carl Thomas. I am from the Moira Kingdom. From weapons to healing potions. You can find me anytime if you want anything. This is my business card. Happy to meet you. I am from the Delrod Kingdom. My name is Leo Plav. The Delrod Kingdom should be the Western Exam District, right? I didn't expect you to pass the exam. That's truly too amazing. And at this time, Leo Plav noticed that it was truly too quiet here. Quiet to the point of being suspicious. Subsequently, he placed his gaze on the professor. Before holding the entrance ceremony, they shouldn't start training students, right? Just then, a violent shaking struck. The next second, a huge tentacle extended from the sea, and immediately after slapped heavily onto the ship. Seeing this, the crowd sought help from the professor one after another. Professor Inalendu, help us. However, he appeared not to care. You are students of Lemurn Academy, candidates for legendary heroes. When encountering a crisis, overcome it relying on your own power. The next second, a giant octopus appeared before everyone's eyes. This was the Kraken. At this moment, Leo Plav quickly severed its tentacle. Celia Zerdinger, you must remember to respond calmly. Of course, but you should take care of yourself first. The next second, the Kraken suddenly sprayed a jet of water, washing Celia Zerdinger on the spot. This is because the Kraken reacts to heat and shoots water cannons to extinguish it. At the same time, the Kraken used a tentacle to grab a student. Seeing this, the two immediately wielded long swords to cut off the tentacle in front of them. At this moment, Carl Thomas on the side was very shocked. Celia Zerdinger is the best in the Western region. Her combat power is unquestionable. But why is this guy Leo Plav also so strong? Just then, an ice-frozen tentacle impressively fell from the sky, and when the two raised their heads to look, a familiar face appeared before their eyes. This was the same person Leo Plav encountered before. The next second, the girl used freezing magic to attack the Kraken. If you are weak, why don't you just stay back? The strong never care whether we are swept into their battles. At the same time, several more severed tentacles fell from the sky. It turned out the Llewellyn siblings had joined the battle. Celia Zerdinger, the competition between us isn't over yet, and Chelsea Llewellyn revealed a faint smile gazing at Leo Plav. On the other side, the professor was watching everyone's performance from the side. The lake heading to Lemurn Academy has various monsters. These monsters are very suitable as their entrance ceremony. Sure enough, the top performers are all very impressive. Chinxia of the Eastern region, Celia Zerdinger and Abad Llewellyn of the Western region, Chloe Muller of the Northern region, Warden Titan of the Southern region, as well as Duran Moira of the Central region. This year's freshmen are all very promising. However, what impressed him the most was still that unknown freshman. Clean and efficient swordsmanship. His figure was so light it seemed he had anticipated the sea monster's attacks long ago. It won't take long to see him in night class. At this time, the students finally arrived at the academy. Even Carl Thomas didn't expect that he actually used up all the prepared potions. You will come to this lake often in the future, so it's better to get used to it as soon as possible. Then next, go participate in the entrance ceremony. The crowd eventually made their way to the erect training grounds within the academy, where upperclassmen seemed to have gathered. Line yourself up by region. The top freshman stands at the front of every row. I don't like giving long-winded speeches. If your dream is to be a hero, then you must walk your own path and exceed your own limits. We at Lemurn Academy don't need students who can't do these things. Saying this, the headmaster instantly shattered the podium with a single blow. Next, let us invite the freshman representative to come on stage to give a speech. Subsequently, under the gaze of the crowd, the professor announced the name of the freshman representative, Leo Plav. Even he felt very puzzled. Please step forward. Could it be recommended by the examiner? A moment later, Leo Plav stood on the stage and began to speak, but the crowd began to gossip. The freshman representative actually isn't a top student. Leo Plav. First time hearing this name. This kind of look and attitude, it's simply provoking us. Just then, Leo Plav finished the official greeting statements, and the professor invited him to share a few of his own words to his classmates. At this, Leo Plav happily took this opportunity, just as the professors thought this year's entrance ceremony would be calm. At this moment, Leo Plav slowly shouted loudly towards the crowd, if any of you want this position, then come up and snatch it. Hearing this, Abad Llewellyn and Celia Zerdinger were shocked. Not only them, but the other top students too, with the others being visibly annoyed. This challenge goes out to any one of you. The scene shifts, and the crowd returned to the Lemurn Academy dormitories. Now starts a week of temporary classes. A professor began to explain. During this time, it doesn't matter what major you choose. You can listen to any of the classes you want to hear. In this process, you must choose the 3 subjects you most want to study. Then, in order not to be late tomorrow, everyone was ordered to rest early. Just as Leo Plav was about to enter his room, a familiar voice called to him. I didn't expect you, Leo Plav, to actually live right next to me. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. I'll see you in the morning. At this moment, Leo Plav lay on the bed and fell into deep thought. He reminded himself of his goal in Lemurn. I need to find my hero record in the academy. It must be here somewhere. At this moment, Leo Plav was dining with Carl Thomas. Suddenly, Duran Moira slammed his cutlery on the table. Freshman representative, did you really mean what you said during yesterday's speech? You seem to have been provoked to come and pick a fight with me. I am the Central Region top student, yet you don't know me? Regarding this, Leo Plav chose to ignore him. Subsequently, Duran Moira slowly condensed magic power. The next second, he instantly kicked the dining table over with one foot. Seeing this, Leo Plav didn't hesitate at all. He immediately leaped into the air and caught all the food, and in an instant, he assembled a double patty burger. You shouldn't waste precious food. Hearing this, Duran Moira immediately flew into a rage. Just then, a figure slowly appeared behind them. Let me see. One is the Central Region top student. One is the freshman representative. Since when did you dare to fight in Lemurn Academy? Does this mean you have already prepared yourselves? Later on, it was now time for the temporary night class. Professor, it's already class time. Why isn't Leo Plav here? Just then, Leo Plav and Duran Moira appeared breathless in front of everyone. Leo Plav, what exactly is going on? Did you get into a fight? It was nothing much, just a small matter. matter. A moment later, Professor Inalenda began the class. I am Inalendu, responsible for the first year night class. Everyone knows mana gave birth to 3 powers: magic power, spiritual power, and aura. Among them, aura is the hardest existence to control. Does anyone know why this is? Because aura loses the fluidity of mana during the transformation process. Indeed, because magic power and spiritual power use mana in its natural form, while aura processes mana after absorbing it into the body. Since that is so, then how do we use aura? Doesn't it appear just by wanting to use it? We use aura by means of burning mana. Correct answer. Then do you know what is most important when burning mana? Leoplav answered once again. It is physical stamina. Hearing this, Inalendu was somewhat shocked. Leoplav, did you specially learn about the science of aura? Regarding this, Leoplav indicated he had not. He can see through the essence of aura without having learned it. Then the theory class ends here. Next, let's move on to some hands-on practice. The next second, Inalenda suddenly floated in the air. This is aura step. The principle within is to concentrate aura power on the legs. As you can see, the applications of aura are endless. Time passes as the class continues with its hands-on practice. At this moment, the crowd is attempting different uses of aura. Celia Zerdinger seemed to already be proficient with aura step. How about it? Want me to teach you? But Leoplav refused this because the application principles of aura are all about the same. At this moment, Inalenda noticed Duran Moira looking nervous. Attention everyone, as you all know there was a bit of confusion happen this morning. Duran Moira and Leoplav, please step forward. Duran Moira, what matter made you so angry? I am not angry. Next, you two please stand on the track. Central Region top student Duran Moira and freshman representative Leoplav, betting the position of freshman representative, will conduct a one-on-one running race. In this race, you can use even aura without any restrictions. Hearing this, Duran Moira felt incomparably shocked. A moment later, Carl Thomas invited the crowd to place bets together. The genius of the Golden Moira Principality possessing a heroic lineage, the master of lightning aura, Duran Moira, versus the dark horse from the outskirts, Leoplav, who rose above the top students to become the freshman representative. At this moment, the crowd began to gossip once again. From the conversation between him and Celia Zerdinger, he didn't even know aura step. The top student of the Central Region isn't someone just anyone can become. Maybe his strength is really strong. No matter who wins or loses, accept the race result with grace. This is the spirit of chivalry. The person entering the finish line first wins. Celia Zerdinger knew deeply that Leoplav had no chance of winning at all, but this guy can always exceed our imagination. Accompanying Inalendu's command, the next second, both sides ran rapidly towards the front. However, Leoplav couldn't even use aura step. That's just pathetic. How did he become the freshman representative? But Chelsea Llewellyn unprecedentedly shouted encouragement for Leoplav. At the same time, just as Duran Moira was about to approach the finish line, at this moment Leoplav noticed something behind him, and he instantly braked his steps, and immediately after ran towards the spectator seats. Seeing this, Celia Zerdinger was very shocked. The next second, Leoplav condensed aura on his legs, and immediately after ran rapidly towards the high point of the spectator seats. After confirming the distance, at this moment Leoplav's legs suddenly exerted force. Accompanying a loud noise, Leoplav flew towards the front with lightning speed. I'm going one step ahead, slowpoke. Subsequently, Leoplav landed smoothly on the ground. Thus, under Duran Moira's shocked gaze, Leoplav arrived at the finish line first. At this moment, everyone felt incomparably shocked. What exactly happened just now? Duran Moira is the fastest in the first year. I didn't expect Leoplav to actually win. But didn't he not learn aura step? And only Celia Zerdinger knew deeply that just now was not a regular aura step. It was the phoenix step of the Zerdinger family. At the same time, Professor Inalenda watching from the side fell into deep thought. Duran Moira used his most proficient lightning aura to increase speed. Although anticipated, his speed far exceeded imagination. Although Leoplav's speed isn't as good as Duran Moira's, his application of aura is a cut above, concentrating his fire aura under his feet to make a one-time explosion. Truly a terrifying ability. It was a nice race, Duran Moira. If it were a long-distance race, the result would be different. But Duran Moira didn't seem to accept his goodwill. Among this batch of students, maybe a hero can really be nurtured. Leoplav is truly too amazing. I want to practice with him too. Just as Carl Thomas prepared to invite Leoplav and the others to drink tea together. At this moment Leoplav refused on the spot. I'm going to listen to the summoning studies course. Subsequently, he turned and left the place. Why does a student of the night department want to listen to summoning class? What exactly is he thinking? There is still something that's been puzzling me. Why did I get the Fairy King's Pact? Rewards from hero worlds are usually related to the power of the world's owner. The reward I got is a summoning ability, but albeit Jaron is a mage and has no connection to summoning at all, I should have received an ability related to magic. Moreover, wanting to sign a contract with a fairy requires going to the fairy land, so this reward is currently useless to me right now. Just then, a voice stopped him. Are you also here to listen to the summoning class? Happy to meet you, Leoplav. I am Eastern Region top student Chinxia. After introducing each other, the two began to exchange pleasantries. Aren't you a student of the night department? I didn't expect you to be interested in summoning studies. Of course, I'm currently aiming to practice spirit technique. At the same time, Chinxia summoned a water spirit. Which spirit did you sign a contract with? Leoplav. I currently haven't signed a contract with a spirit yet. If you need help in the future, you can call me anytime. Leoplav was very curious. How old are you now? I'm already 17. I remember you seem to be 15, right? 17? Why does she look even younger than Chelsea Llewellyn? Your race with Duran Moira was truly impressive. I was there to witness the whole race. In the near future, I will also issue a challenge to you. Of course, just come to me anytime. The scene shifts, and at this moment the crowd was waiting for the arrival of the professor. Why are there only a few people? I guess summoning class isn't very popular. During the conversation, a huge black wyvern slowly descended before everyone's eyes. First year freshman, I'm very happy to meet you. I am Yura Marnine, the professor responsible for your summoning studies. Leoplav thought to himself, she is a completely different beauty compared to Luna and Lysinas. If Dweno were here, it would definitely be chaotic. Everyone present should have the talent of a summoner, right? Then let's proceed to the practice site immediately. Carlo is responsible responsible for summoning griffins. Pair up in twos and ride the griffins. Will there be no problems riding griffins for the first time? Are you saying you're not ready for class? If you can't even do this, then leave here quickly. At this moment, the professor's dragon roared loudly, and then it took off flying away. Alright, everyone, please just follow the professor. Subsequently, Leoplav and Chinxia formed a group. A moment later, the crowd was rushing towards the destination. I didn't expect griffins to be so docile, but Leoplav reminded her to be careful. After all, it is very difficult for people riding a griffin for the first time to control it. Suddenly, the professor took out a whistle, and while she was ahead of everyone, blew into the whistle loudly. Hearing this, the griffins suddenly became berserk. How can you call yourself a Lemurn student if you can't even control a griffin? Now get it under control. At this moment, the griffins were falling into a berserk state. Griffins have a lot of pride. Trying to tame it with strength will only make it angrier. Subsequently, Leoplav took the reins from Chinxia's hand. Watch carefully, just like this. And with that, Leoplav was able to control the rampaging griffin. Seeing this, even Uramarnin looked at Leoplav with new eyes. Isn't he from the night department? Does his family raise griffins? Why does he ride so well? His family doesn't look like they can afford to raise griffins, so this is pure talent, right? It looks like we possess a hidden gem. At this moment, the crowd quickly arrived at the Summon Beast Island, and at this time, Leoplav noticed the tangerines on the tree. The moment he picked the tangerine, a feather fell onto his hand. Subsequently, he fed the tangerine to the griffin. A moment later, Uramarnin announced that a practical exam would be conducted next. Is there an exam for temporary classes too? Compared to the other two majors, we have a long way to go in summoning. Summoning not only requires mana sensitivity. In order to sign contracts with spirits, one needs spirit affinity, and to control summon beasts, one needs taming ability. This is also the reason why summoning heroes are fewer than the other two professions. If you become a summoning hero, then you can create achievements greater than the other two professions. Teacher, what do you want to test us on? The person speaking was from the Northern Summoner Hero family, Herjin family, Eliza Herjin. Summon beasts or weapons to summoners. I want to test your taming ability. The exam content is very simple. Tame a summoned beast from the forest and bring it back. If you successfully sign a contract with a summoned beast, then this summoned beast belongs to you. Hearing this, the crowd ran towards the depths of the forest one after another. At the same time, Eliza Herjin slowly said towards Leoplav, freshman representative, I heard you defeated Duran Mora. I look forward to your performance in summoning class. Alright, but I'm just doing my best. It seems these guys will become the central figures of the first year. Soon, Leoplav arrived at the deepest part of the forest, and subsequently he took out that feather from his jacket. The next second, Leoplav was instantly surrounded by a burst of fire, and immediately after, the feather was burned completely clean. Sure enough, this thing is hers. But just then, a big flash erupted behind Leoplav. On the other side, Lena Plav was worrying for Leoplav. Lena, it's only his first day. Are you already worried? At the same time, a fierce fire suddenly ignited in front of Leoplav. Because it's a big deal. This flame is one of the three great mythical beasts. After all, the Great Phoenix. The next second, a voice rang out. Are you the child of the Zerdinger family? You have the scent of Lena's fire on you. Do you know my mother? Of course, Lena is my benefactor. I owe her a great debt that I could never repay. My name is Farina, the Phoenix, one of the three great summoned beasts. And my name is Leoplav. But what do you mean by my mother is your benefactor? Because Lena is my oathbound familiar, the benefactor of Elan Rondoa. At that time he was doing a mission in the Siren dungeon. He not only lost all his companions but was also heavily injured. At that time, it was your mother who saved him. In this process, Lena lost her flames. If it weren't for that incident, Lena presumably would have become a hero too. Mother said she never felt regret. But what brings you to Lemurn? I can't tell you this, but aren't you a student of the night department? Why come here? Because I am taking the temporary summoning class too. Hearing this, Farina's expression immediately tightened. Truly interesting, Leoplav. Is this fate? I can finally repay your mother's kindness. Suddenly, a small flame erupted from Leoplav's hand. Farina had handed a phoenix egg to Leoplav. It is my child. I hope one day you can use your talent as a summoner to sign a contract with it. Is it possible to form the bond right now? Without the slightest hesitation, Leoplav immediately injected magic power into the egg. This look of you challenging without hesitation. It is simply exactly the same as Lena. Good luck to you, Leoplav. The scene shifts to Leoplav's inner world. At this moment, a burst of flame was floating in the air. When Leoplav touched it, the flame began to burn fiercely. Damn, this temperature makes it simply impossible to breathe. Is this the Phoenix's flame? Burning one's own body, releasing powerful firepower. The price is to endure this pain every day. Is this the life of a Phoenix? I understand now, and I am willing to bear the pain with you. At this moment, back in the real world, the Phoenix egg suddenly shattered, instantly absorbing the surrounding flames. It looks like I succeeded. Leoplav, you are truly a genius. You will definitely become the strongest summoner in history. Congratulations on your successful contract. This child's name is Fiora. Please take good care of my child. But is this really a Phoenix? It looks like a chick no matter how you look at it. On the other side, at this moment the professor was checking everyone's progress. Just then, the commotion on the side attracted her attention. Chinxia tamed a blue bear cub. Another student tamed a high-level shadow crow, difficult even for summoners to tame. Hearing this, he immediately indicated that the contract had not been successful yet. At the same time, Eliza Herjin appeared before everyone riding a white beast. This child is a mythical beast our family doesn't have, so I took this opportunity to sign a contract. Just then, Carlo announced the exam time was over. Just in time, the last student came over. The next second, Leoplav appeared before everyone with a chick on his head. Is that a chick? It seems like he just gave up. But Professor Uramarnin revealed an incredibly shocked expression. What chick? That right there is a Phoenix. Later in the afternoon, Leoplav was invited to Uramarnin's office. It turns out that Uramarnin was waiting for him all this time. Have a seat, Leoplav. This is the first time in my life I've seen a Phoenix chick. I didn't even know there were Phoenixes on Summon Beast Island. You are the first Lemurn first-year freshman to sign a contract with a Phoenix since the academy was founded. I know what your true identity is, Leoplav. You are a genius among summoners, an unprecedented genius. However, the matter of you signing a contract with a Phoenix should be kept secret for now, otherwise it will cause huge trouble. On the day the temporary classes end, you must choose summoning as your major course. That way you will become the greatest summoner hero in history. The next day, Leo Plav and Carl Thomas came to the Learn Magic teaching building. Unexpectedly, they met Chloe Muller, so Leo Plav greeted her. Then he returned the student ID to her. She suddenly remembered that the person she bumped into last time seemed to be Leo Plav, and immediately expressed gratitude to Leo Plav. However, are you also interested in magic? Because it's temporary classes, I want to listen to various courses. The Ice Empress has her eyes on the position of top student of the magic theory class. That is the Chloe Muller in front of us. Subsequently, he found an excuse wanting to stay far away from her. I'll move to the back of the class instead. But the next second, a huge block of ice blocked his path. Carl Thomas, you sit in the very front with me. If you want to listen to the class seriously, I will help you. At the same time, the Llewellyn siblings behind them also greeted Leo Plav. At this moment, the classroom door slowly opened. Students attending the magic class. Hello everyone. I am the professor responsible for the first year magic class, Len Horace. Subsequently, he patted the test papers on the desk, then snapped his fingers. The next second, all the test papers moved to the students' desks. Before starting the temporary class, we'll begin with a magic theory test. Students who don't meet the standard cannot attend my class in the future. As students of Lemern, this should be simple for all of you. Finished papers are to be given to Assistant Anna on the side. And at this time, Leo Plav looked at the test paper in front of him feeling very helpless. Why are modern magic formulas so complicated? Accompanying the passage of time, all students finished the papers, but they all had the last question remaining unanswered. Leo Plav was exactly the opposite, because he only did the last question. If I had known earlier, I would have learned a bit more about modern magic formulas. Seeing as I failed this exam, I'll have to study magic on my own. In the past 100+ years, magic formulas have undergone very great development. Spells that originally relied on understanding to use can now be used just by remembering the activation conditions. But this kind of development has led to the regression of mages. The next second, Len Horace slowly condensed his magic, and a dazzling light shot into the sky, forming a colorful orb of light. This is the essence of magic I created. Formulas entirely created by me from beginning to end. So I hope you can become mages who research your own formulas. This is the purpose of this exam. 49 questions can obtain scores by memory, but as for the last question, analyzing the essence of magic, which is worth 51 points. I hope everyone can become great mages who can solve the last question. No wonder only this question couldn't be solved. Has Leo Plav already given up? I wanted to take magic classes together with him. What a pity. Just then, the assistant on the side slowly said towards Len Horace, Professor, there is a student who solved the last question. Hearing this, he was instantly ecstatic. This is the first full score since I became a professor. Stand up. Let me see who exactly it is. But it's not a full score, Professor. Apart from solving the last question, the rest are blank. His name is Leo Plav. Len Horace ordered Leo Plav to stand up, but Chelsea Llewellyn responded, Student Leo Plav has already left the classroom just now. Hearing this, the professor was completely stunned. At the same time, Leo Plav told Celia Zerdinger about the exam. So you only solved the last question? In summoning class first taming a chick, then in magic class only solving one question. Leo Plav, you really are something. How about you concentrate on becoming a knight and practicing swordsmanship? Just then, a figure suddenly appeared behind him. So you were going to be a knight? Are you Leo Plav, the one who mocked my class? Why did you go out without finishing the exam questions? Did you think they were too easy to be worth solving? Professor, you seem to have misunderstood me. I thought I definitely failed this exam. Apart from the last question, I didn't know any of the other questions, because I self-studied magic using grimoires left at home for a long time. I know nothing about modern magic formulas. Hearing this, Professor Len Horace immediately appeared incredibly happy, picking Leo Plav up like a stray cat. Maybe he is the genius I've been looking for. You must come with me, immediately. Subsequently, the professor dragged Leo Plav away from the cafeteria. At this moment, Len Horace pointed at the questions on the blackboard. Student Leo Plav, please solve these questions. If he didn't solve that question by luck, then he must have established his own magic system. Let me take a good look at whether you are a true genius. In less than a moment, Leo Plav solved all the questions on the blackboard. Seeing this, Professor Len Horace was very shocked. How can it be so fast? Can you do mental arithmetic? No matter what, I finally found a true genius. At this moment, Albi Geron was walking by himself in a hallway. Just then Len Horace was seen rushing towards him, and he was visibly joyful. Seeing this, Albi Geron was completely confused. Senior, thank you so much. You are truly too much today. The freshman representative you recommended, Leo Plav, that child is a magic genius. But I remember, wasn't he a student of the night department? That child must become a mage. Do not waste his talents in swinging a piece of metal around. Sending that child to the night department is simply an insult to magic. Thank you, my assistant, Anna. Professor, we seriously have to hurry to class now. Just then, Leo Plav slowly appeared behind Albi Geron. Seeing this, Albi Geron revealed a faint smile. Mages, whether now or in the past, are truly a group of crazy people. 1 week later, the temporary courses ended. At this moment, Leo Plav was on the roof flipping through books about the hero of beginning, Kyle. On the other side, 3 professors hurriedly found the headmaster, because Leo Plav applied to study 3 majors at the same time. This was something that had never happened since the school was founded. Watching the 3 professors arguing, at this moment the headmaster thought of that fictional hero, the 5th hero, known as the hero of the beginning, Kyle. He was the only great hero in history who possessed all talents. He was proficient in all of the classes. At this moment, Celia Zerdinger and Chelsea Llewellyn are conducting running training. Why are they still training on the weekend? And why are they also always just running? That is because stamina is the most important. For a combat mage, the most important thing is stamina, so she improves her stamina through running. Finally, the 2 were able to take a water break. It's nice to run like this on the weekend, but I want to run together with you too, Leo. Is that really so? However, Celia Zerdinger seemed to dislike this idea greatly. Leo Plav, what is your relationship with Celia Zerdinger? Why are you so close? I thought you were a couple. He is my aunt's son. We are cousins. Could it be he is also a member of the Zerdinger family? Strictly speaking, he technically isn't. Anyway, let's formally start exercising next. Subsequently, Leoplav took Celia Zerdinger and ran towards the direction of the training grounds. The scene shifts, and time arrived at the class assignment day. Leoplav was assigned to first-year class 5, exactly in the same class as Carl Thomas. Unexpectedly, even Chelsea Llewellyn was assigned together. What exactly did you do on the weekend? How is she tired like this? Just did basic exercise. After the first year ends, how many of you will remain? Truly pitiful juniors. Compared to them, I actually feel you guys are the most pitiful, aren't you? The person speaking was exactly the class 5 homeroom teacher, Harlan Edmund. Seeing Harlan, the two immediately pretended to be chairs, daring not to move. This is the failing class with the lowest scores among the newcomers. You should have all heard rumors about me, right? My nickname is Wailing Wall. You must be very curious why I actively offered to be your homeroom teacher. Could it be to help us improve our grades? Carl Thomas, worthy of being the last in the class. Your thoughts are too ridiculous. Does no one know what the duty of Lemern Academy students is? To conquer the world of heroes, starting with mission practice. However, most of you look like you are ready to die out there. It's better to expel the ones who may drag their comrades down. It saves us the trouble in the future. This is why I'm in charge of class 5, and that is why they also call me the Wailing Wall. Just then, Harlan Edmund noticed Leoplav's calm expression. It seems like that kid will survive. Next, they went out into the field for combat training. You're all new to Lemern, so let's start by fixing your rotten mentality. What do you think will save you in a life or death fight? Wouldn't it be comrades who firmly protect our sides? Nella Carvin replied. Wrong answer. It is one's own ability. Continuously honing one's own ability to shine in a crisis. Only then can you help companions. But can you guarantee your companions can protect you? At this moment, a figure raised a hand to signal. Professor Harlan Edmund, I have confidence. Then let me see the magic swordsman's skill. Make a simple fireball first, Ileana. The next second, Ileana condensed a fireball in her hand. Is this the only extent you have? This kind of fireball can't even kill a passing ant. Hearing this, Ileana immediately injected more magic power into it, and immediately after, 2 huge fireballs impressively appeared before everyone's eyes. Seeing this, the professor nodded with satisfaction. Then try hitting this guy with that fireball. The next second, a green spirit was summoned. At the same time, the spirit suddenly flew in front of Ileana, then provoked her properly. Seeing this, she immediately flew into a rage, instantly throwing the fireball in her hand straight at it, but it easily dodged. What's the point of doubling its size if you can't even land a hit? Do you understand now? The problem isn't power. You need more control. This class won't end until someone catches the sylph. Heirs of Lemern, unleash everything you've got. Although his words are harsh, he is right. Then I'll go participate in training too. At this moment, the professor was watching Leoplav from the side. Let me take a good look at your strength. Prove that you are not just bragging like the fictional hero, Kyle. At this moment, the crowd was exerting all their skills wanting to catch sylph, but were all easily dodged by her. Just then, Leoplav condensed aura on his legs. The next second, he rushed towards sylph with lightning speed. Will you be destined to be the first of the all-class hero? How are we supposed to catch that thing? At the same time, Leoplav was rapidly approaching sylph. At this time, he suddenly leaped into the air, subsequently reaching out to grab sylph in the air, but was dodged sideways by her. However, this was completely expected by him. Leoplav immediately condensed aura on his right hand, just as sylph was about to be controlled by Leoplav's aura. The next second, a figure impressively appeared before his eyes, and instantly grabbed sylph. The Comer was exactly Central Region top student Duran Moira. It looks like our class 1 has taught you a move, class 5. The person speaking was exactly the homeroom teacher of first year class 1, said Jen. He was ranked second in the graduation vote. Is that so? How about you take the class for me? Interestingly, this Harlan Edmund was ranked first place in the graduation vote. Hearing this, said Jen immediately expressed annoyance at him. Is this the conflict between the two pillars of Lemern Academy? These two have worked at Lemern Academy for over 20 years. I heard Professors Ein, Yura, and Len were all their students. How do you know this kind of thing? Well, that is because I'm always quick with information. Harlan, although I don't know why you served as the homeroom teacher of the failing class, but I will find out soon enough. I propose a confrontation between class 1 and class 5. The event is Lemern's historic ball game, Batera. Why didn't I think of that? You are a genius, said Jen. This is the fastest way to learn in actual combat. Class 5. This is your chance to practice your abilities, which is to play in Batera match with class 1. There is also an additional condition. If you lose, then you are all expelled. If you lose, then you are all expelled. At this moment, everyone present felt incomparably shocked. Is this serious? But class 1 has 3 top students, so strive to exceed your limits. However, you don't need to worry. After all, our class has the all-class freshman representative. Choose 6 representatives to participate in Batera. Leoplav. Does he want to test me? Judging from Professor Harlan's eyes, he doesn't dislike me. And after entering Lemern Academy, I've seen quite a few kids dejected this week. The professor presumably hopes I can lead those class 5 students with low morale. This match definitely contains a way to boost class 5's morale. Soon, class 1 finally selected the participants, and class 5 also selected the participants. Why do you look so scared? Batera is a traditional Lemern competition. It is a very dangerous ball game. Chelsea Llewellyn, why do you have a dejected expression? Could it be you want to admit defeat already? What joke? I won't lose to the Zerdinger family. Don't worry, we definitely won't lose. Leoplav, just wait and see. I'll show you the results of special training. Even Chloe Muller secretly made up her mind. Leoplav, I definitely won't lose to you this time. Participants from each class, please stand on the competition field. I need to put them in their place. If losing means expulsion, then we have to win. Carl Thomas, you know you're taking the last spot, right? Professor, class 5 is ready. Hearing this, the professor immediately summoned a blue ball, then threw it heavily into the air. At the same time, Leoplav and Duran Moira quickly used aura to jump into the air, but ultimately Duran Moira seized the initiative. Accompanying a flash of lightning, Duran Moira grabbed the blue ball. Then class 1 attacks first. Taking this opportunity, Leoplav signaled Tade to explain the competition rules simply. Bastera's rules are very simple. Input aura into the ball, whether using hands or feet, as long as you can score. The side that gets 11 points first wins. Tade Marcoa from the summoning department explained. Just then, Duran Moira slowly condensed aura. The next second, he threw the blue ball wrapped in lightning straight towards the front, and the target was exactly Leoplav. Seeing this, Leoplav immediately dodged sideways, but unexpectedly, the blue ball rebounded and hit Class 5's goal. Seeing this, Class 1 students immediately boiled with excitement, while the faces of Class 5 students on the side began to look disappointed. Could it be Professor Harlan really intends to make us all drop out? How can I get the right to attack? Currently, there are 3 ways. First is the ball leaving the opponent's attack range. Second is when we catch the ball. Just then Nella Carvin warned her team to dodge. At the same time, the blue ball hit Ileana straight on. Is there leisure to chat during the match? Focus on the game. The third way, if a teammate is knocked out by the ball, we get the right to attack. However, you cannot directly attack with your abilities. You can only attack through the ball. Thank you for your explanation. Next, it's our turn to attack. Subsequently, Ileana withdrew from the match due to inability to move. When holding Batera matches, usually the team possessing strong attack power fire attribute aura has the advantage. The Zerdinger family's fire is the fiercest fire among mages. You clearly knew we had Celia Zerdinger in our class, yet you still agreed to the match. Although I don't know what idea you have. You can't win this time. Do you still remember our first apprentice, the child of the Zerdinger family? Of course, that was the Empress of Batera. That Empress's son is in Class 5. Hearing this, said Jen revealed an expression of disbelief. On the other side, just as Class 5 students felt very discouraged, at this moment Leoplav suddenly exploded with powerful magic power, subsequently injecting aura into the ball, immediately after throwing it straight towards the opponent's defense point. Seeing this, Chloe Muller immediately created an ice wall to block it. Leoplav, as long as I am here, don't think about scoring. That is not necessarily so. Subsequently, he leaped into the air, immediately afterwards swinging a heavy punch, instantly shattering the huge ice wall on the spot, finally scoring a point for Class 5. This guy's combat level is very high. Harlan revealed a faint smile. It looks like the game has just begun. The competition was fierce. Celia Zerdinger kept attacking with her flaming attacks, but Carl Thomas managed to block it with an earth wall. Meanwhile, Chelsea Llewellyn controlled the ball with flowing air magic. However, Tade Marcoa was struck with a lightning-infused ball, and even a Class 1 member was eliminated as well, while Chloe Muller stood strong with her ice magic. At this moment, the score had arrived at 9-10. Just then, Duran Moira condensed aura on the ball, then threw it straight towards Carl Thomas's direction. The ball followed a zigzag motion, just like lightning across the air. Seeing this, Carl Thomas immediately leaped into the air, subsequently using all his strength to barely catch it. My mana is used up. Next, I leave it to you, Leoplav. Subsequently, he tossed the ball towards Leoplav, and Carl Thomas was escorted away, being eliminated. Now the score had reached 10-10, but the situation didn't seem too ideal, because the Class 1 still had 3 top students left, while Class 5 only had Leoplav left. Although I lost to you in Magic Theory class, this time I definitely won't lose again. The next second, Chloe Muller used ice magic to create several ice clones. Leoplav, however, squatted down ready to sprint. At the same time, Duran Moira and Celia Zerdinger immediately opened their auras fully. Leoplav, bring it on. At this time, Leoplav condensed green aura on his legs, subsequently disappearing from the spot with a flash. Seeing this, the 3 opponents present felt incomparably shocked at Leoplav's speed, accompanying several afterimages flashing past. At this moment, Leoplav had already carried the ball and broke through Celia Zerdinger and Duran Moira's defense. Chloe Muller, he isn't attacking, he wants to score directly. Seeing that Leoplav was using illusion magic, Chloe Muller immediately opened her magic perception, but the next second she froze on the spot. The illusion casted by Leoplav was out of the ordinary, just as she was in a daze. At this moment, Leoplav had already scored. This is clearly star magic, but how can a human use elven magic? And the winner is first year Class 5. Hearing this, Class 5 students immediately hugged each other excitedly. Finally, we don't have to get expelled. What are they talking about getting expelled? Consider it a small tactic to motivate them. Gazing at the 3 dejected top students, at this moment said Jen was very distressed. Subsequently, he slowly said towards Chloe Muller, are you very angry about losing the match? After the match ends, regardless of the result, it is customary to greet the opponent. Everyone cooperated very well from start to finish for Class 1's victory. Students cheering for friends, students trying their best on the competition field. Everyone should hold their heads high. A moment later, said Jen began to summarize this match. Both classes performed excellently. Class 1 displayed their talent and power, not yielding in a disadvantage. Class 5 worked hard until the last moment. You broke through your limits and successfully achieved a comeback victory. I hope everyone continues to compete harmoniously in the correct direction. Now all members start shaking hands. You persisted for a long time. I thought you would leave the field immediately. Same to you. You were as persistent as a squid. This time, it was Class 5's win. Isn't that right, Prince? But hearing this, Duran Moira looked very gloomy in response. At the same time, Chloe Muller looked unwilling. Seeing this, Leoplav immediately extended his right hand. Chloe Muller, you were really amazing just now. When you accumulate more practical experience, you will definitely become a remarkable figure. What are you joking about? At this, Leoplav looked very sincere. One day, I will definitely win. Subsequently, both sides shook hands amicably. The scene shifts in a month now has passed. Leoplav, Chelsea Llewellyn and Carl Thomas were all eating lunch together. So, which club do you want to join? I want to establish a club myself. If that's the case, then I want to join Leoplav's club. I want to create a hero research society. I want to research the forgotten hero, the hero of the beginning, Kyle. Isn't Kyle a fictional hero? It seems normal people wouldn't join your club. Hearing this, Chelsea Llewellyn was ecstatic, realizing it would just be her and Leoplav in the club. I'll be the one to join. Just then, the commotion outside attracted everyone's attention. That's right, it's today. Subsequently, the 3 of them went to the window to check it out. Today is the day the 5th years return from conquering the hero dungeon. Fragments of hero records scattered around the world occasionally go berserk and give birth to dungeons. That is the hero dungeon. Lemurn seniors capturing dungeons to recycle hero record fragments takes as short as 2 weeks and as long as a month. These are the strongest of Lemurn Academy. The muscular man from the east walking at the very front is Senior Lee Zamua. The girl from the south next to him is Senior Toro Yen. The person in the hoodie with pale skin is Senior Ulta. But it seems one person is missing. The man standing at the apex of Lemern Academy. Student Council President Riss. Just as Carl Thomas was thinking, Leo Plav had already been taken away from the place. Celia Zerdinger, where exactly are you taking me? You go with me to a place first. The Lemern Student Council President wants to see you. Soon, they arrived at the meeting place where the two waited patiently. Suddenly, Celia Zerdinger had become delighted to see someone, and in the next moment, Celia Zerdinger hugged the man in front of her. Long time no see, brother. Leo Plav. Happy to meet you. I've heard rumors about you. You chose to study 3 majors at the same time, aiming for the all class, right? My name is Riss Zerdinger, a student of the night department and the student council president of Lemern. Subsequently, Riss Zerdinger took the two to experience local cuisine. I didn't expect this cuisine to be so delicious. I heard you are our aunt's son. I met her a few times when I was young. Your mother was very famous during her student days. She left behind quite a few legendary stories. For example, the dormitory cafeteria dessert was too terrible, so she took students to the headmaster's office to make a huge scene. Hearing this, Celia Zerdinger could not believe she led this infamous event. As expected, this guy is truly as worthy of being called Lemern's strongest. It should be a matter of time before he becomes a hero. A moment later, just as Riss Zerdinger planned to pay the bill and leave, he found the hero record fragment in his jacket, suddenly emitting bursts of light. What exactly is going on? Why is it so sudden? At this moment, Harlan was holding self-study class in the classroom. What silly question do you have this time, Ileana? Why hasn't our class selected a class president yet? I heard other classes have already selected theirs. That's right, I almost forgot about this. Subsequently, he designated Leo Plav as the class president of class 5. But Ileana expressed dissatisfaction with this. Shouldn't there be a voting? However, the next second, Harlan took out a pile of reports. Class president, take these and organize them. Seeing this, Ileana immediately lost her enthusiasm for running for class president. Just then, a broadcast rang out. Joint class on hero studies will start soon. All first-year students to move to the main lecture hall. Leo Plav from the crowd said, "Shall we prepare to move, Professor?" That's the spirit, Leo Plav. That's why you're the class president. Subsequently, the crowd assembled to go to the main lecture hall. The scene shifts, and Leo Plav and Carl Thomas met Chloe Muller on the way, but it seemed her condition wasn't very good. Can I buy any spare fatigue recovery potions, Carl Thomas? Those are currently only the 2 bottles I have left. School just started. Do you need to push yourself so hard? After drinking the recovery potion, at this moment Chloe Muller finally recovered her spirit. I'll do just fine. Despite Chloe Muller being ranked first in the magic theory exam, Chelsea Llewellyn knew deeply that Chloe Muller was anxious. After all, a competitor like Leo Plav appeared. Once he understands modern magic, he might surpass her in the magic theory exams as well. Furthermore, she is a mage of the Mage Tower. In my case, as a combat mage, it doesn't matter if I do poorly in academics, but as a mage in the Mage Tower, research and study are everything. It's a matter of pride. Are you really a mage? Why don't you care about these at all? In my case, my magic is all used to make a living. Meanwhile, at this moment, the headmaster was suddenly stunned. Did the damaged hero record react? Is it true that this hero fragment reacted? Of course, but reasonably speaking, a fragment of this degree shouldn't have any reaction, and especially when there are no relics appearing around. Was there any reaction after that? Riss Zerdinger confirmed that it did not. Hearing this, the headmaster immediately fell into deep thought. It looks like it's necessary to investigate this further. Subsequently, he signaled Riss Zerdinger to go back and rest first. Immediately after calling Elena in. What do you need, headmaster? Take this to the main lecture hall of the Hall of Beginnings. The first-year students are about to have class there. It is extremely rare for a fragment of that size make a reaction. Only if the one recorded in the hero record appears. That's the only time it will react. At this moment, inside the Lemern Academy main lecture hall, Professor Ardian Nir was signaling everyone to quiet down, but it seemed the students didn't take her words to heart. The next second, Ardian Nir slowly condensed magic power. If you don't want to die, quiet down for me, you little punks. Finally quieted down. Thank you everyone for cooperating. Our professor looks so scary no matter when. Actually a spirit summoner, this was a rare existence even in the past life. Next, the hero studies combined class will be carried out. The appearance of hero records is the reason for the birth of hero families. In order to open the hero's world, we need items related to that hero. Therefore, descendants of heroes have easier access to the hero's world than ordinary people. This is also the reason why the relationship between Lemern Academy, which keeps hero records, and hero families is close. Hearing this, Leo Plav felt this was actually quite interesting. At this time, Elena had arrived to the class. Hero research studies is important literature for learning clues to conquer hero worlds. After you become upperclassmen, you will choose a hero to inherit power from and challenge their page. At the same time, Elena handed a box to Ardian Nir. Everyone, what is to be displayed next is a fragment of the hero record recovered by the Lemern 5th year rating team. Now, before presenting this hero fragment, let's start by presenting what you'd like to achieve as heroes. I want to become a knight surpassing my family ancestors. Chloe Muller wanted to create a grimoire of her own original spells. Carl Thomas wanted to particularly assist and support heroes. Just then, Leo Plav stood up and slowly said, "My goal is the complete annihilation of Erebus." Hearing this, everyone present felt incomparably shocked. Even the professors on the side appeared very surprised. I see. What a remarkable goal to state. Of course, most people thought he was just talking big, but Harlan held a different view. That kid doesn't look like a guy who would talk big. Erebus was broken into fragments and sealed for thousands of years. During this period, he revived several times. At that time, the revival of a single fragment could bring huge disaster to the world, and his dream is actually to completely eliminate Erebus. Next, each class speculate which hero's fragment this is, and formulate a combat plan to conquer the hero's world. Just in case, the homeroom teacher of each class will watch from the side. Please let the class presidents of each class step forward as representatives. The ones to step up were Class 1's president, Celia Zerdinger, Class 5's president, Leo Plav, Class 2's president, Abad Llewellyn, and Class 10's president, Chin Xia. A total of 2 hero records were recovered this time, but we will only only use one of them for this class. The other is a very small fragment. This is also what some hero record fragments look like. At the same time, Leoplav was instructed to reach out towards the small fragment. The next second, a golden light lit up, immediately followed by several window prompts ringing out. Initiating hero record access. World of blank. Chapter blank. At this time, Professor Sedgen revealed an incredibly shocked expression. Did the fragment go berserk? When everyone came back to their senses, they found they had been transported into the hero's world. Seeing this, Harlan immediately signaled everyone to prepare themselves, because this was a hero dungeon. But Sedgen noticed the castle on the side at this time. The age of catastrophe, the last line of defense, the last city, the walls of Gardaslan. Just then, Leoplav remembered a memory. That's right, Kyle. My unfulfilled wish is a tragic wish. Immediately after, a figure slowly appeared before everyone's eyes, and this figure continued the line from his memory, but we will save the world. At this moment, Leoplav gazed at everything in front of him and fell into deep thought. Leoplav recognized the figure in front of him. It was none other than the great dragon hero, Lysinus. The next second, Lysinus revealed a faint smile, and subsequently the hero world shattered. Immediately after, the crowd was transported back to the main lecture hall. Classes are suspended. Everyone, remain calm and exit the main lecture hall. But Leoplav gazed at the fragment in his hand. This is the hero of the beginning, Kyle's fragment. This is my record. At this time, Harlan was also watching Leoplav from the side. The scene shifts, and Leoplav told the crowd about seeing the king of wisdom, Lysinus, and they assumed it was Lysinus' hero fragment. Truly a pity. I didn't get to be class president. Just as the crowd started to play around, I came here to scold the noisiest class, and here I find the class 5. Choose for yourselves, self-study or expulsion. Subsequently, he turned and left, and at this moment Leoplav was thinking, why is only my record broken? I can't even recognize whose world it was supposed to be, just as if someone intentionally destroyed my hero record. Hero records are items that can inherit hero power. Someone who doesn't wish for the birth of a new hero. It could only be Erebus. For now, I need to investigate why my hero record was divided first. The scene shifts, and time arrives to 1 month later. This is the content of everyone's midterm practical exam assessment. Original magic. Actually, it is exclusive magic. Original magic can clearly express a mage's character. Although activating formulas has become mainstream now and mages no longer pursue originality, original magic will become the trump card protecting oneself when encountering a crisis in the future. Every elf can learn star magic, but that is just a minor copy version of the original magic. In history, only one person has truly used star magic, and that is the founder of star magic, the founder of Nebula, the great hero Luna. Hearing this, Chloe Muller unconsciously looked at Leoplav. After all, he had used star magic previously, and at this time, Leoplav noticed the book beside Chloe Muller. Is that a grimoire? A moment later, Leoplav finished class and found Chloe Muller. He originally wanted to use the excuse of eating to ask her about that grimoire, but Chloe Muller refused him directly. I must win against you in this practical skill assessment. I already lost to Leoplav in practical technique, so I must win in original magic. This time, no matter what happens, I will win. If I refuse you, it would be disrespectful to you, right? So let's both prepare well. Seeing this, Chloe Muller firmly shook his hand. Later that afternoon, Leoplav came to the Tower of Heroes. Lemurn definitely has a library regarded as forbidden. Perhaps I can find hero records about me there. Just then, a voice stopped him, and she was the Magic Department 5th year student Torwa Yen. I often hear Professor Len Horace mention you, but why did you, a first year, come here? I came to see the student council president. If you come to the Magic Department, I'll let you pass. I am already taking magic classes. Hearing this, Torwa Yen was satisfied with his answer. Subsequently, she took a step to the side, allowing Leoplav to pass. Leoplav, before this semester ends, you will declare magic as your major course. I have made myself very clear. Regarding this, Leoplav just revealed a faint smile. A moment later, Leoplav pressed the elevator button, but there was no reaction. The elevator will only operate by injecting mana. Hello Leoplav, I am Lizamua, Lemurn Knight Department 5th year student. It seems you are the rumored first year all-class representative. Why did you come to the Hero Tower? I came to find the student council president. Interesting, a freshman actually isn't afraid of me, and even dares to come to the student council president's office alone. Truly commendable courage. I think you should consider joining the Knight Department. Don't you agree? Regarding this, Leoplav was very speechless. Soon, Leoplav finally arrived to the student council president's office. Leoplav, what brings you here? I want to enter the Forbidden Archives. Leoplav, I know you never joke, but for ordinary students to enter the Forbidden Archives, there are only 2 ways. First, conquer a hero dungeon. The dungeon clearer has to personally put the recovered contents into the hero record. The second way, I'll tell you after you join the student council. The scene shifts, and time quickly arrived at the day of the Knight Department practical technical exam, and Carl Thomas thought about taking the opportunity to sell some popcorn. This is just like Carl Thomas. Even if he didn't get into Lemurn, he definitely would have made a lot of money. On the other side, Leoplav noticed that Chloe Muller did not seem to be present. Subsequently, Professor Einalenda began to speak. Next is the first sparring match. Class 1's Hall Snaif versus Class 5's Leoplav. At the same time, Carl Thomas noticed Professor Sedgen standing on the side, so he recommended the popcorn and drink set to him. Do you think I would buy these things? The next second, Carl Thomas shot a glance to someone. It was Celia Zerdinger, who immediately understood what he meant. Professor, treat us to a portion of popcorn. It looks so delicious. Subsequently, under everyone's surrounding, the professor finally agreed to give everyone a popcorn set. At this moment, the two stood on the competition field. Truly lucky. I didn't expect to be the first to go on stage. It seems like you don't care about me, but I'll make sure you regret that. The condition for passing Lemurn's exam is to obtain 5 sparring victories. How skilled is the freshman representative? Leoplav specializes in 3 subjects. There is definitely a gap with those who only take 1 major course. Hall Snaif is the guy ranked 3rd in Class 1, besides Celia Zerdinger and Duran Moira. Leoplav, you are nothing more than an arrogant person who is always hanging around Celia Zerdinger. The person who knocks the other down wins. Treat this as a real battle. Take it seriously. Just then, Leoplav sensed sensed something strange. An ominous aura was emanating from the dormitory not far away. On the other side, at this moment Chloe Muller was researching magic in the dormitory, but she was not quite satisfied after writing several magic formulas in succession. Relying on my ability, I simply cannot create exclusive magic. This practical operation exam, I absolutely cannot lose to him. At this time, a powerful desire to win drove her to look to the side. As long as I have this, I definitely can win. At this moment, she was influenced by the grimoire. At the same time, Leo Plov gazed at this aura and fell into deep thought, and Hal Snaif wielded a long spear attacking towards him. Seeing this, Leo Plov immediately dodged sideways, but the next second, the aura on the long spear instantly transformed into a giant snake, attacking straight towards Leo Plov. Leo Plov immediately reached out and grabbed the long spear. Damn, how can his strength be so great? Leo Plov suddenly exerted force. The next second, Hal Snaif was pulled in front of Leo Plov, and he was met with a sudden heavy punch, knocking him flying away on the spot. Are you saying I was careless? At the same time, Hal Snaif condensed magic power and unleashed a move, Poison Mist. Don't get cocky too early. The game has just begun, and he believed that Leo Plov was not good at using aura, so even if his strength was great, he couldn't solve the fundamental weakness. Poison Mist, that's truly unique. The next second, a burst of fire aura instantly surrounded him. If it's not fire of Celia Zerdinger's level, it simply cannot drive away my Poison Mist. It looks like you were the careless one. At this moment, Leo Plov had already flashed to his front, and his aura was pushing the Poison Mist away. Seeing this, everyone present felt incomparably shocked. Duran Moira on the side also frowned, and even Celia Zerdinger felt it was unbelievable. When did your flame become so strong? This aura is of the same level as Celia Zerdinger. Does a guy who chose all professional courses actually possess this kind of strength? Originally, this was prepared to defeat Celia Zerdinger. I didn't expect it to be used on you. The next second, he suddenly unleashed a move, Snake Prison, and subsequently the poisonous snakes instantly bound Leo Plov firmly. How about it, Celia Zerdinger? This is a technique I prepared to deal with your aura. Seeing this, Celia Zerdinger slowly extended her finger pointing to the front. The Snake Prison was being continuously burned by Leo Plov's flames. In less than a moment, Leo Plov broke free from the restraints. Seeing this, Hal Snaif was very shocked. Just as he prepared to launch another attack on Leo Plov instantly struck out with a draw-cut slash, knocking the weapon in his hand flying. Before my flames extinguished, you shouldn't have let your guard down. Subsequently, the professor on the side announced the duel result, and the winner is Leo Plov. Hearing this, Chelsea Llewellyn was very excited, as expected from Leo Plov. I didn't expect his level in actual combat to be so high. No wonder he always stays with Celia Zerdinger. Just then, Celia Zerdinger's voice rang out. Good job, Hal Snaif. You were awesome. Is that so? This is nothing much. At this moment, the professor's voice rang out again. Next, Class 5 Ileana versus Class 10 Chinxia. Hearing this, Ileana immediately felt incomparably shocked. How come it's one of the top students of the department? Subsequently, the two greeted each other. Let's have a good match. The next second, Chinxia was instantly surrounded by water attribute aura, and Ileana, not to be outdone, used fire aura. Subsequently, she suddenly launched an attack towards Chinxia. Seeing this, Leo Plov on the side was very surprised. This should be very painful, right? Immediately after, Ileana crashed fiercely onto Chinxia's aura defense and was subsequently knocked away. In the winner of this duel, Chinxia. Sure enough, I have absolutely no chance of winning against you. Although she counters you in aura attribute, if you could respond calmly it would be fine. Truly a pity. Next, Class 1 Celia Zerdinger versus Class 1 Duran Moira. I didn't expect the opponent to be you. Even Leo Plov expressed great anticipation for this. The next duel will definitely be very interesting. The next second, both sides exploded with incomparably powerful auras. Let us see who is the strongest one in Class 1. As the match started, Duran Moira took the initiative. The next second, Duran Moira used lightning aura to rapidly launch an attack on Celia Zerdinger, but was easily blocked by her. This is what a battle between top students looks like. Leo Plov, who do you think will win this duel? It looks like Celia Zerdinger is going to lose soon, but judging from her eyes, she seems to be hiding a trump card that can reverse the result. At the same time, Duran Moira condensed aura on his legs, rapidly approaching Celia Zerdinger. As he passed by, he managed to cut Celia Zerdinger's cheek. The next second, Duran Moira wielded a long sword to launch an attack on Celia Zerdinger. Seeing this, Celia Zerdinger immediately raised her sword to defend, releasing a massive amount of fire aura within the battlefield. You used your head well, Celia Zerdinger. It turns out that Celia Zerdinger realized she couldn't compare to Duran Moira in speed, so she restricted Duran Moira's movements with the use of fire aura. Celia Zerdinger was already amazing as it is, but now, she has grown even stronger, just as Duran Moira was in a daze. At this moment, Celia Zerdinger had already flashed behind him. As she swung her sword, Duran Moira managed to quickly react to this, just as he thought about launching an attack on Celia Zerdinger. The next second, Celia Zerdinger suddenly grabbed his weapon. I have you now, Duran Moira, subsequently using a heavy headbutt attack, knocking him unconscious on the spot. Thus the duel between the two ended. The winner is Celia Zerdinger. How about you try developing strength too? Subsequently, Celia Zerdinger reached out and helped him up. Seeing this, Duran Moira accepted her help with respect. It looks like your efforts were not in vain, Celia Zerdinger. So Celia Zerdinger really won. Class President Leo Plov, I heard your explanation very clearly. The night department practical exam finally came to an end. Celia Zerdinger obtained a record of 4 wins and 1 loss. Duran Moira obtained a record of 4 wins and 1 loss. Chinxia also obtained a record of 4 wins and 1 loss, while Leo Plov obtained 5 victories with no losses. Right after the night department practical exam ended, at this moment they completed Professor Harlan's operations written test. Everyone, don't drop out because of failing the test. Hearing this, Ileana was somewhat dissatisfied. The professor threatened us with expulsion every time. The two people on the side hoped Chelsea Llewellyn could show them the answers, while Leo Plov slowly lay on the table. Class President, how did you do on the test? I'm feeling pretty good about it. The class president, who always looks confident, can make a face like that too. If you feel unwell, you can approach me. I will use healing magic to help you you treat it. Nella, my shoulder here is a bit sore. Help me out too. Just then, Chelsea Llewellyn interrupted by punching him over and over. This should make it not hurt anymore. Leo Plav, is your summoning studies practical practice going smoothly? Tate said you rarely go to the summoning practice field. I've been working hard out of sight from them. As expected of Leo Plav. Then what rank do you think you can get in this summoning studies exam? Is that even a question? Of course it's first place. Later, on the day of the summoning practical exam. At this moment, summoning third-year student Runba Tess was introducing to everyone. Celia Zerdinger was curious as to why the exam was like this, and her brother explained, the summoning speed race can be considered a long-standing tradition in the summoning department. It's one of the events during the interdepartmental exchange, so it's always a hot topic. At this time, Carl Thomas was busy selling popcorn and soda to the audience members. So many people watching feels like a lot of pressure, but Leo Plav gazed quietly ahead. At this moment, Eliza Herjin approached Leo Plav. You performed well in the night department exam, but are you ready for the summoning exam? Of course I have. But Eliza retorted, but I remember, didn't you not go to practice? Are you underestimating summoning too much? That's right. If you're not going to take this seriously, just step aside now. Everyone, let's just calm down. Tate, even if he's your classmate, don't help him. This kid simply looks down on our summoning department. The atmosphere is already so tense before the exam even starts. Just then, Sunlu made a comment. Chinxia, your night department grades are good, so you don't have to worry too much about summoning studies, right? Just then, Warden Titan stopped everyone's argument. If you're going to argue about how much you've ridden your summon creature, do it somewhere else, not in front of me. What did you just say? It's annoying to brag about something so minuscule. You just say that because you hardly showed up for training as well. That's because it wasn't worth my time. I'm not an idiot like you damn bastard. However, Leo Plav managed to stop the attack. Fighting during an exam will forfeit exam qualifications. Hearing this, Sunlu angrily withdrew. The atmosphere of our batch in summoning is very bad. The skill gap between summoning majors and minors is naturally very large. You and Chinxia didn't major in summoning, but still ranked so high. Thus the summoning second-year seniors taught us a lesson on the side. Leo Plav acknowledged how his actions might have seemed negligent to others. On the other side, a figure was secretly watching Sunlu. It is finally about to start. At this moment, Sunlu's aura seemed to be affected by a negative energy. You arrogant jerks, I'm going to kill you all. A moment later, Runba began to introduce the competition rules. During the exam, summoning first-year students can only use summoning skills. Even if dual profession, one cannot use aura and magic. Once the race starts, you must tame the griffin in front of you, pass through the island of summons, use the silent lake as your turning point, then return along the original path. Then, who will claim the spotlight? This is the first semester midterm summoning practical exam. At this, Leo Plav remained calm and collected. Don't be nervous, just stick to what you've practiced. Anyone who messes up will be left behind after the race. Just then, Professor Uramarnin announced the start of the race. The next second, the crowd ran forwards. Just then, the crowd suddenly channeled their magic power, all of them attacking Leo Plav and Warden. However, Leo Plav managed to block everything with his own aura. Class president, are you okay? Don't worry about me and go ahead. Remember, this is an exam. Hearing this, Tate could only drive the griffin to start the race. Seeing this, even the audience members began to boo the summoning department students. I know everyone hates me, but I didn't expect them all to run over to hinder me. At this moment, Warden snapped his fingers, instantly dispelling the spirit art attacking him on the spot. He effortlessly made his way to a griffin on the side. You're in a difficult situation. Do you need my help? No worries, I can handle it myself. Hearing this, Warden drove the griffin and quickly left the place, leaving only Leo Plav trapped in place by the spirit art. This is bad. Will Leo Plav get out of this? I didn't expect the first-year relationships to be this bad. Those guys actually join hands to use spirit arts. Moreover, Leo Plav can only summon beasts and cannot use spirit arts. It looks like this is going to be tough for him. But the next second, Professor Uramarnin revealed an incredibly shocked expression. She saw Leo Plav slowly chanting elf language. Spirits, release my bindings, open the path forward. It's actually elf language, and so fluent. But Ura soon realized, after all, he is a genius. I must make him choose the summoning major. At the same time, the few people who set off ahead were chatting with fervor. What freshman representative? This time he will definitely be dead last. How about it, Eliza? Winning is very easy this time, right? I don't really like your methods. Even if you didn't do this, I can still win against Leo Plav and Warden. By doing this, how will everyone view summoning in the future? Who cares? At least those guys will be properly humiliated. Can you guys use your brains next time? Saying this, Eliza left angrily. You arrogant brat, acting all high and mighty just because you're from a good family. Forget it. Anyway, this time I definitely secured second place. In terms of controlling flying summoned beasts, I'm the best. Besides Eliza. Furthermore, I have someone helping this time. Just then, Chinxia impressively appeared behind everyone. Everyone immediately noticed Chinxia's odd riding stance. She didn't use spiritual power to strengthen the summoned beast. Why is she so fast? At the same time, the students on the side hurriedly summoned wind spirits. The wind spirit flew directly towards Chinxia, but the next second, Chinxia suddenly changed direction, subsequently flying above the girl's head, and before she could react, she was kicked by Chinxia, knocking her off. Damn it, this has to be cheating. Well, I didn't use aura. In the next moment, Chinxia sped through the sky once again. Making an enemy of us is a wrong decision. Indeed, aerial combat is very disadvantageous to me, but your enemies aren't just me alone. There's another one angered by your little tricks. The next second, a loud explosion suddenly came from behind, because War Eden is a guy who seeks revenge for grievances. At this moment, he was constantly throwing fireballs at the crowd. Consider these a return gift to you. At this moment, most of the summoning department students were hit with fierce fireballs. On the other side, the commentator was announcing to the crowd, the all-class freshman representative Leo Plav seems to be struggling this time. Could it be summoning is a fatal weakness for Leo Plav? At this moment, Leo Plav noticed the wounds on the griffin. As hero candidates, actually doing such pranks is disgraceful. Accompanying Leo Plav pulling the rope tight. The next second, the griffin entered a berserk state on the spot. Why is Leo Plav pushing himself like this? But Riz believed he must have his own reasons. At this moment, Leo Plav pulled pulled the rope with all his might. I know what you are feeling, but now is the time to listen to me. I order you to kneel. The next second, the griffin immediately knelt on the ground. Leoplav immediately pulled out the small knife from the griffin's body, subsequently sitting straight on it. Finally, Leoplav and his griffin was able to start the race. At this moment, everyone present noticed that the wings of Leoplav's griffin were injured. However, even the commentator was sure Leoplav would be stuck in last place. At the same time, Leoplav slowly condensed flames on his hand. In the name of the Oathbound, I order you, appear before me. The next second, a burning chick appeared before Leoplav's eyes. Immediately after, countless sparks instantly ignited on the griffin's wings, and soon, the whole griffin was enveloped in streaks of fire. What exactly is this flame? Could this be the Zerdinger's flame? But this isn't a flame made with aura. What exactly is this? At the same time, the crowd was complaining that they simply couldn't utilize their full speed because of the damage they took. But fortunately, we are not dead last. Just then, Leoplav surpassed the crowd with lightning speed. Finally saw them. Let's speed up a little more then. But the next second, Leoplav seemed to sense something. A huge figure impressively appeared before his eyes. Seeing this, Leoplav immediately revealed an incredibly shocked expression. Could this be the dragon Fafnir? Just before Leoplav caught up with the crowd, at this moment Eliza was thinking of surpassing Warden, but the next second, Warden snapped his fingers. Immediately after, a burst of flame impressively appeared before Eliza's eyes. Seeing this, she immediately controlled the griffin to dodge the explosion. This guy actually used fire and wind spirits to carry out explosion attacks. This isn't a level achievable just by controlling spirits, but this was simply a piece of cake for Eliza. After all, no matter how strong the attack, as long as it doesn't hit, it has no effect. Seeing this, Warden immediately used ice magic. The next second, countless ice cones shot straight towards Eliza. At the same time, Eliza controlled the griffin to spray a fierce flame. In less than a moment, Warden's magic was instantly neutralized. Is it Summon Beast Enhancement? At this moment, Chinxia surpassed the two with a flash, but the next second, Chinxia was caught by the neck. She was firmly bound by the magic released by Eliza, and while she was in a daze, a burst of flame impressively appeared before her eyes. Seeing this, Chinxia leaped into the air dodging the explosion, immediately after tearing apart the bindings, subsequently landing on the griffin again. The elites of the summoning department are truly amazing. Just then, Chinxia heard a terrifying screech from the distance. It turns out that Sunlu was now riding a black wyvern attacking towards the crowd. I'll kill all of you damn bastards. Riding a summoned beast other than a griffin, you have violated the rules. What joke? I don't care about any rules. These geniuses with their so-called innate talent can all go to hell. Did this guy actually sign a contract with a black wyvern? But this doesn't seem to be a black wyvern, right? Just then, Leoplav drove the griffin and quickly caught up with the crowd. How did you manage to catch up? I'll kill you too. At this moment, he said with a solemn expression, you damn bastard. Just then, everyone felt the immense pressure of Leoplav. Where did you find this godforsaken lizard? This is my ability, a summoned beast contracted using summoning arts. Could it be you are envious? Actually treating this as a summoned beast? This is Fafnir, the monster controlled by the magicians of Tartarus. One of the monsters of Tartarus we eliminated long ago in the Age of Catastrophe. How exactly did this guy find it? Just then, Sunlu signaled the black wyvern to launch an attack on the crowd. Seeing this, the crowd controlled griffins to dodge one after another, but Chinxia couldn't dodge in time, so she used aura defense to resist, accompanying two energies colliding with each other. The next second, Chinxia was instantly knocked flying by the powerful energy. Seeing this, Leoplav immediately controlled the griffin to catch her. She has lost consciousness. I'll need to ensure Chinxia's safety first. Let's go to the ground first. Hearing this, everyone agreed. Subsequently, everyone controlled the griffin flying towards the ground. At the same time, Sunlu was watching the crowd from the side. The feeling of looking down on people is something I can get used to. On the other side, the commentator was explaining everything in front of him. The players have gone off course, and they are now out of video transmission range. Just now, Sunlu summoned a black wyvern and attacked the other students. Now is not the time for commentary. Summoning department assistants, prepare flying summoned beasts immediately. The competition is suspended. At this moment, the professors asked Yura what was happening. Student Sunlu summoned not a summoned beast, but a demon beast. Hearing this, the two professors were shocked. His mind won't be able to withstand the influence of the demon beast for much longer. However, is student Sunlu really controlling that demon beast alone? Could there be someone else controlling the demon beast? Yura, you hurry and take the assistants to pursue it. Stop Sunlu and eliminate the demon beast. Remaining professors, just in case, everyone spread out to protect students. Also said Jen, this time you come with me. And with that, the previously rank 1 and rank 2 of their graduating batch teamed up. On the other side, Leoplav has finally found a safe place to land. Leoplav placed Chinxia steadily on the ground. At this moment, Warden and Eliza also drove griffins to land on the ground. Since you want to flee, you should have hidden better than this. Why are you all standing in this open space? Hearing this, Leoplav slowly explained, I landed here not to flee. Also, what you are riding is neither a summoned beast nor a black wyvern. That is the demon beast Fafnir. Hearing this, Sunlu's expression immediately tightened, and even the two people on the side revealed expressions of disbelief. At this moment, Leoplav's image overlapped with his past self, the hero of the beginning, Kyle, as if Leoplav was reliving his previous encounter with Fafnir. I have come here to kill this evil creature. At this moment, Sunlu began to laugh crazily. What is you kids saying? Are you treating me like nothing? The next second, Sunlu controlled the wyvern to suddenly launch an attack on the crowd. Seeing this, Warden immediately summoned an earth golem to block it, eliminating this disgusting creature. I agree with your idea, Leoplav. At the same time, Sunlu was surprised that an actual golem was summoned. I'll help you guys too. First get that idiot off the demon beast. The golem is about to shatter. Everyone get ready. Seeing this, Leoplav revealed a faint smile. The next second, under the powerful flames, the golem began to crack all over, and it shattered on the spot. Where else do you little mice want to hide? Just then, Eliza wielded a magical whip striking towards Sunlu, and just as Sunlu was in a daze, Warden snapped his fingers. The next second, a fire suddenly appeared around the wyvern, subsequently exploding all over the creature on the spot. Leoplav, take the opening, now! Now, at the same time, Leoplav had already flashed to Sinlu's front, subsequently throwing a fierce kick. You want to drive this boy off the wyvern. It's a very good method, but you have no chance. The next second, Sinlu controlled the wyvern flying towards the sky. Are you afraid, young hero candidate? Beast Mage Tartarus, where's your main body? It should be not far from here, right? Truly interesting. You actually saw through my identity. Being able to remain so calm in this situation. Truly a perfect hero in the making. Since that is so, then you die here. The next second, Sinlu suddenly unleashed a move of wind magic towards Leoplav. At this moment, Leoplav's foot slipped, and he rapidly fell towards the ground. Seeing this, Leoplav immediately summoned Fiora. Fiora, it's time for you to shine. The next second, Fiora appeared beside Leoplav. Although I was an all-class hero, I never reached the ultimate performance in anything. My aura was inferior to Eren and Dueno. My magic is inferior to Luna, and my summoning can't beat Lycina's. So what I chose was the fusion of all abilities together. Aura and magic power and spiritual power and aura. In less than a moment, Fiora grew into a huge phoenix. At this moment, Fafnir suddenly reacted, due to phoenix aura and demon beasts opposing each other. You're a person who signed a contract with a phoenix? Who exactly are you? If you tell me where this Fafnir was obtained from, I'll tell you. You actually know the demon beast of the Age of Catastrophe. I absolutely cannot let you live. Seeing this, Leoplav immediately signaled Fiora to get ready, exerting her secret swordsmanship, phoenix breath, secret technique, prominence. At this moment, the demon beast suddenly sprang a dragon breath, and Leoplav matched it by releasing an incomparably powerful flame. Despite this, Leoplav was struggling from the opponent's attack. You fool, just end this already. But suddenly, Sinlu was struck with a splitting headache, distracting him for a moment. It looks like his main body was attacked. This guy's spiritual power has weakened. Now is the time to finish you off. Without the slightest hesitation, Leoplav immediately used full strength to attack Sinlu, enveloping the Fafnir within the flaming attack, accompanying an incomparably powerful flame hitting the demon beast. The next second, the demon beast exploded on the spot. Fiora, you worked hard. Let us go back now. But just then, Fiora turned back into its baby chick form. Seeing this, Leoplav immediately broke out in a cold sweat. On the other side, at this moment the man in black was controlling Sinlu's spirit, but the next second, a blue light shined on him. Suddenly, he was being pinned down by this blue energy. It turns out that said Gen had casted a barrier on the man in black. Beast Mage of Tartarus, you are finished. The two pillars of Lemurn Academy. Suddenly, a change occurred in the man in black, and at this moment the man in black instantly changed form. In an instant, the man in black turned into a burst of thick smoke, managing to escape from this place. It looks like they have already started to act. It would seem so. Lemurn is no longer safe now. At this moment, Leoplav was still falling from the sky. Fiora returned to the summoned beast world, but just then, a voice called out to him. In the next second, a figure caught the falling Leoplav. Leoplav, are you alright? Thank goodness I wasn't late. On the other side, inside the base of the men in black, the leader was controlling a group of monsters. This was harder than expected. To think you'd be stopped by just a mere hero candidate. That guy wasn't an ordinary hero candidate. He was someone who made a contract with a phoenix. And on top of that, he recognized Fafnir in an instant. I see. Things are getting more interesting now. At this time, Leoplav was walking slowly towards the direction of the classroom. The summoning midterm exam was ultimately cancelled, and Sinlu died in the end. This matter made the freshmen understand the dangers of dungeons. Although everyone was very curious how Sinlu signed a contract with Fafnir. But under Professor Uramarnen's order, the four people in the know unified their story, describing Fafnir as a mutated black wyvern. A moment later, Leoplav came to the classroom, and today happened to be the day of the magic department practical exam. At this moment, everyone was somewhat surprised, because Chloe Muller's appearance had changed. Her hair was blonde now as well. Could it be she stayed up late again? Even Leoplav looked at her somewhat worriedly. The last person has finally arrived. I believe everyone brought their own original magic for today. It would be too pity if only I saw those magics. So I will introduce 3 guests to everyone. They are those who graduated from the Lemurn Magic Department 3 years ago, and will be today's grading teachers. These were Senior Rilda Fedney, Senior Edmond Slack, and Senior Shin Hughes, and Carl Thomas was very excited. I feel they will give us high scores. At the same time, the first student to participate in the exam was Ileana. Seniors, hello. My main attribute is light. Adding light attribute magic into fire attribute magic formulas, I can release very strong thermal magic, but it seemed the teachers were not surprised. This is about the same as the existing laser type magic. Finally, the teachers gave a score of C-. Hearing this, everyone present was very shocked. Subsequently, the students participating in the exam one after another all received C- scores. Meanwhile, Carl Thomas received a B+, and Chelsea Llewellyn received an A. The two were very happy about this. Although very good, still somewhat a shame. Didn't Professor Len Horace say this batch of students wasn't ordinary? But so far I haven't found a single one. Let me see the remaining students. This set really is just average. Up next is Abad Llewellyn. At this moment the surrounding girls began to blush. Subsequently, he quickly wrote down his formula on the blackboard. The advanced magic I want to present is called Tempest. The danger level of this magic upon completion is at the highest rank. Time returned to the day Abad Llewellyn was researching his original magic. At this moment he was staying inside a defensive cube magic. He was slowly condensing his magic power. In the next second, he drove the wind to float in the air. Subsequently, he let out a fierce roar, and immediately after, an incomparably powerful tornado impressively appeared above his head. It was so powerful that it broke through the defensive cube magic. Just then, a small deer suddenly appeared, and it was quickly swept into the tornado. To avoid it getting hurt, Abad Llewellyn stopped the magic. This magic actually maximizes power. Although it looks simple, this is a formula system exclusive magic that is very difficult to execute. Finally, Abad Llewellyn obtained an A+ grade score. At this moment, Professor Len Horace announced the next student to participate in the exam, Leoplav. The original magic I want to present is a non-attribute magic formula system. Existing magic formulas all have formulas displaying attributes. After all, this is the most basic condition for activating magic. My original magic is a magic formula formula system that is compatible with all those techniques. Hearing this, everyone present was confused. So you mean, you want to establish a new magic formula system? Of course, Leo Plav affirmed this. Leo Plav, we did not come here to listen to your nonsense. Well, I am eager to see it. Write it down quickly. Seeing this, the judges had no choice but to watch patiently. At this moment, Leo Plav quickly wrote down the formula on the blackboard. There is only one person in history who possessed their own formula system. You should be talking about founder of the nebula, Luna, right? So you're saying you want to stand on equal footing with such a great hero? Do you think you can compare to the founder of the nebula? That is not possible. Luna is incomparable to me. The great hero Luna is indeed a great mage, but establishing a formula system doesn't require the same level of genius. In less than a moment, Leo Plav wrote out the complete formula system. This guy actually wasn't talking nonsense. Judging from this formula structure, no matter what magic, it won't suffer penalties and can be used at will. I can't understand this formula. I've already given up. And Chloe Muller gazed at the blackboard and fell into deep thought. Leo Plav, what is the reason you created this magic system? To be able to freely use all the magic in the world. Your idea is very crazy. I finally know why the higher-ups look so highly upon this batch of kids. So what is the name of this exclusive magic? Hearing this, Leo Plav revealed a faint smile. Its name shall be called Bible. At this moment, Judge Shin revealed an incredibly shocked expression. It is the same magic system created by the only one in history, the fictional hero, Kyle. Maybe Leo Plav proved Kyle's existence. At the same time, Professor Len Horace took the scoring sheet from the judges. Leo Plav obtained A+ grade score, the formula I didn't complete in my previous life. As the hero of the beginning, Kyle, this time I will definitely complete it. At the same time, it was finally Chloe Muller's turn to go on stage to demonstrate. Chloe Muller, are you really alright? However, Leo Plav was completely ignored, and a moment later, Chloe Muller stood on the stage. We heard you are the top student with the most excellent practical operation in the magic department. So are you ready? The original magic I prepared is flame-type magic. Isn't Chloe Muller best at ice-type magic? Why make the original magic a magic that counters her own attribute? Gazing at the weak flame in Chloe Muller's hand, the judges appeared very helpless. This magic is too ordinary. If it's like this, then there's no need to watch at all. Next, I will let you see the true value of this magic. Just then, a torrent of water poured down on the fire, but the flame didn't get extinguished. Could it be you used eternal properties in the magic? That's right. As long as I want, this flame will never extinguish. Magic is composed through formulas. No matter which magic, as long as the magic supply is cut, it will disappear at any time. But the magic formula created by Chloe Muller was not like this. How exactly did she do it? My original magic's name is called the Unquenchable Flame. Hearing this, even Leo Plav felt some disbelief, because this was an impossible thing to happen. Subsequently, Professor Len Horace announced that Chloe Muller obtained A+ grade score as well. The Unquenchable Flame? Even Luna couldn't create it. There is only one being who can make this kind of thing, and that is Erebus. The scene shifts, and at this moment Leo Plav was staying in the classroom falling into deep thought. Previously, he wanted to call Chloe Muller out from the dormitory through Celia Zerdinger, but she stated Chloe Muller had been very tired recently and was asleep now. Did you look for her because something happened recently? Why do you say that? Recently, she seems to have become much stranger, often arguing with people in class. I heard she has been associating with people of bad character in the magic department recently. At the same time, Fiora impressively appeared beside him. Have you been well recently? I heard you were looking for me, Leo Plav. The next second, Farina impressively appeared before Leo Plav's eyes. Leo Plav, why did you call me out through Fiora? I want to know the reason you stayed in Lemurn. Summon Beast Phoenix and Demon Beasts are two opposing creatures. Leo Plav guessed Farina definitely had some special reason for staying here. 5 years ago, an attack occurred at Lemurn. At the time, 2 students and 3 teachers died, but in the end, the culprit wasn't caught. Finally, Headmaster Kallian Baydan commissioned me to investigate inside Lemurn. Since then, I have been searching for the culprit's whereabouts. Do you know a beast mage appeared in the summoning exam? Of course. I heard a student died too. Then do you think the mastermind would be Tartarus? We can only suspect right now. I can't tell you more. Then please relay this message to Headmaster Kallian. Tartarus did not only have contact with Sinlu. Time passes and it was now the day of the Hero Studies and Combat Studies joint exam. Since everyone has arrived, let the class president introduce the exam rules. The Hero Studies and Combat Studies joint exam is about forming into groups to conquer a hero's world. And the world to be conquered this time is the Chad murderers incident. Just as everyone began to discuss amongst each other, Professor Harlan signaled everyone to quiet down. Class president, please continue explaining. About 30 years ago, Lumern first-year students entered the central Chad murderers forest and were attacked by Tartarus. At that time, the second-year evil-eye sorcerer Professor Albi Geron was sent over to save people, which prevented a total annihilation. The conquer objective is to rescue the injured and kill the demon beasts, as well as assist Professor Albi Geron, who was still a second year at the time. This exam isn't a simple midterm exam. It is to make everyone vigilant. Listen well, those who don't pass this exam will be expelled immediately. Hearing this, everyone present fell silent. However, I believe in you. You have all grown very well. At the same time, Professor Ardian Nir announced the start of grouping. After a moment of drawing lots, Nella was assigned to Group 4, while Leo Plav was assigned to Group 11. It looks like I'm in the last group. As we have finished assigning the groupings, please let the first group stand in the summoning circle. This is very reassuring. I didn't expect to be grouped with the Sword Maiden. Let us display the strength of the Rodran Empire. Accompanying Albi Geron slowly condensing his magic power, a system notification popped up. Albi Geron's World. Chapter. Prologue. The Chad Murderers Incident. The next second, a golden light lit up, transporting the two into Albi Geron's hero world. Subsequently, the crowd gazed at the huge projection in front. It could be seen that the two immediately took action as they entered, as expected of being born in heroic families. Meanwhile, Professor Said Jen appeared very relaxed. With Celia Zerdinger here, they'll definitely get a top mark this time. But Harlan felt differently. I actually think Chelsea Llewellyn is performing better. Instantly, the air fell into silence. I didn't expect the first group to complete the task so quickly. Truly worthy of being the new stars of the first year. At this moment, the headmaster Kallian had arrived. I came over to see how the first years have grown. Professor Albigeron, truly sorry to you. Every year we have to make that bad memory of yours public. It's nothing. After all, I made up my mind long ago to never forget this event. As the person involved, I thank you. At the same time, news came from the front that Group 1 conquered successfully. Sure enough, worthy of the Zerdinger and Llewellyn families. Although they usually don't see eye to eye, they are from the same empire after all. Subsequently, news came from the front that Group 3 conquered successfully. The most powerful person in the squad leads the charge. Others responsible for support, winning by strategy. Truly not bad. At this moment, Kallian revealed a satisfied smile. Up next, Group 4 conquered successfully as well. Nella Carvin's healing ability is indeed very outstanding. Plus Jinxia's talent. Same as I thought before. These aren't ordinary people. At the same time, Group 7's Eliza, Warden, and Ileana conquered their mission successfully. Although there are many excellent students. Among them, the most promising is Group 11, Leoplav. Seeing this young man's path for some reason makes me think of the past. Is everyone ready now? Of course, the two affirmed this. Accompanying Albigeron summoning the magic book, Albigeron's world was slowly opening. But just then, a black aura floated inside the magic circle. Seeing this, Leoplav was very shocked. Wait, this isn't quite right. Immediately after, a burst of flame instantly wrapped the two. In less than a moment, the two disappeared from the spot. What is going on? How come we didn't enter the world? And where did Leoplav and Chloe Muller go? At the same time, Professor said Jen stood up abruptly from his seat. What exactly is going on? Even the headmaster was somewhat worried. What happened, Professor Albigeron? Headmaster, please suspend the exam immediately. At this moment, Albigeron held the book in his hand, trembling incessantly. Could this be? That's right, they entered a hero dungeon. At this moment, the window of a blank mission objective floated before the two's eyes. I've never heard of a case where a pre-established page of the hero record goes berserk. And at this time, Leoplav realized they could no longer contact the professor and the others. Maybe they will suspend the exam to rescue us soon. If they could stop the exam, they would have done so long ago. It looks like the two of us must conquer this dungeon. This is a dungeon difficult even for 10 people to clear. Do you know how many people died here 30 years ago? Chloe Muller, calm down. This is the only way to leave the dungeon. The reason Tartarus caused the Chad murderers incident back then was to eradicate us hero candidates. At this moment, Chloe Muller completely fell into fear. This forest is a huge trap. You are the most formidable student in the first year. As long as we join forces, we can definitely clear it. In this situation, he can still be so calm. It looks like the gap between me and him is still very large. Have you thought of a combat plan? Of course, there are two clearance conditions for the Chad murderers incident. One is rescuing the first year students. Two is ensuring the safety of the first year students. If we want to complete these two conditions, we have to strengthen our combat power. How can we do that when we don't have access from the outside? Don't forget, currently in the forest, we aren't the only Lemurn students. Those seniors might all still be alive. Subsequently, Leoplav squatted down and signaled Chloe Muller to climb up quickly. We must find the seniors before Tartarus. Seeing this, Chloe Muller was immediately flustered. Why should I do that? You are a mage. Your mobility isn't as fast as mine. On the other side, Lemurn's seniors were participating in the test, while the Tartarus Demon Clan member Chubrin was secretly watching everything. Could it be a rescue team incoming? Anyway, the targets are the candidates who might become heroes in the future. At this moment, he suddenly noticed something out of the ordinary. He realized Leoplav was using non-attribute magic, an all-class mage. Could it be? Is it really you, Hero Kyle? At the same time, Leoplav noticed the environment became darker the more they went towards the center. Thus, Leoplav decided to borrow Albigeron's technique, using aura to raise the body's senses to the limit. In an instant, the surrounding things were seen clearly. Be ready, there is a group of orcs ahead. Seeing this, Chloe Muller immediately used ice magic. Countless ice cones attacked straight towards the orcs. In less than a moment, the surrounding demon clan were wiped out clean. Just then, Chloe Muller noticed the enemy. An orc was thinking of blowing a whistle to call the others. The next second, Leoplav suddenly struck with a heavy downward slash, cleaving the orc in two, killing it on the spot. Why is the difference in our power so big? Can I really defeat Leoplav? At the same time, Leoplav discovered the seniors standing on the side, so he quickly used magic to approach them. Chloe Muller, please assist me from the side. Following a blue magic circle lighting up, Leoplav instantly disappeared into the air. On the other side, the seniors were struggling to resist the demon clan, just as the demon clan attacked towards the crowd with full force. The next second, Leoplav arrived, killing the demon in an instant. Have reinforcements arrived? Leoplav affirmed this. Just then, the demon used its full strength to cast a spell that unleashed leeches out, but was instantly cut off by Leoplav's fire aura. Seeing this, everyone present was very shocked. At the same time, Alia seized the opportunity to use light magic. The next second, powerful magic power attacked straight towards the demons. The orcs were completely engulfed in the light magic, disintegrating into dust. That was light magic just now. Could it be this person's identity is? Soon, the students were finally saved. Thank you for helping. I'm relieved that the support team arrived. Sorry, I want to chat alone with my companion for a few words. That girl is Alia Geron, the younger sister of Albigeron. 30 years ago, she was killed by Chubrin. You should know, Alia's team is the team that absolutely couldn't be saved in the Chad murderers incident. Why happen to meet Alia's squad? Tartarus Knight rank demon, Chubrin. The first target was Alia's squad. The reason Tartarus triggered the Chad murderers incident, it was to eliminate Alia Geron, the genius mage. She was a strong candidate to have their name recorded in the hero records. Chloe Muller suggested that with their current strength it was impossible. Wanting to complete the conquer condition, they must find other teams as soon as possible. But Leoplav commented, so are you going to abandon them? I am also very unwilling, but Leoplav, this is the hero's world. In reality, they died long ago, and have been dead for over 30 years. That is indeed the case, but I cannot bring myself to leave them behind. At this time, the sound of the two arguing attracted everyone's attention. Wake up, I admit you are very powerful, but now is not the time to act recklessly. Stop acting like a hero. Saying this, Chloe Muller had already lost all hope. At this moment, Leoplav reached out to comfort Chloe Muller. Don't say things like playing hero so carelessly. Exactly, Cleo. Because you are a hero candidate. We are not just pretending to be heroes. This moment is part of the journey of becoming heroes. Hearing this, Chloe Muller was regaining hope once again. Furthermore, history is already deviated now. Chloe Muller, look around. When we met Alia's squad, the forest had already turned dark. According to the original plot, they would have died at Chuburn's hands long ago. Although this is somewhat risky, I'll leave the decision to you. Alright, let's escape with Alia's party. At this moment, Chloe Muller gazed at Leoplav's back. Why do you alone stand ahead of me? I still cannot catch up to your footsteps. Don't you feel strange? Why are there only 2 people in the rescue team? That's right, they look about the same age as us. Could this be a trap of Tartarus? Alia didn't agree with this. After all, they joined hands with us to defeat the enemy. Also, don't you think that person is very handsome? Hearing this, the crowd instantly felt somewhat surprised. I didn't expect there's actually someone who can exceed Senior Albigeron's standards. Just then, Leoplav slowly approached them. Everyone, listen well. We need to escape this forest as quickly as possible. Is that necessary? We have recovered our strength and can slowly crusade against the demon clan. But Leoplav indicated there was no time. You are targeted by knight-rank demons. Hearing this, everyone present felt incomparably shocked. If it's knight-rank demons, they are brigade-level demons. That's right, so we can't confront them head-on. Our goal is to get out alive. This guy is a bit like my brother. Subsequently, under Leoplav's lead, the crowd ran quickly towards a place. Just then, Alia noticed Chloe Muller seemed somewhat not right. What is with this expression? Meanwhile, in the real world, the professors and assistants was flipping through relevant materials in the library. Find cases of hero records turning into dungeons. Time is of the essence, everyone. The fact that we still can't enter should be considered good news. Isn't that right? Indeed, as long as there are still people remaining in the hero dungeon, then no one can enter. This means both of them are still alive. It has been 3 hours since the 2 entered the dungeon. It should be night in the hero world now. When exactly did you defeat Chuburn 30 years ago? Should be at exactly midnight. Looks like we can only leave it to the past you. Headmaster, we have found the person who sold the beast summoning catalyst to students in Lu. There's no doubt about it. It's related to Tartarus. Hearing this, Albigeron on the side suddenly became restless. Albigeron, you need to calm down. Let me go out to cool my head a bit. Sure enough, worthy of being a person who earned the title of hero by relying on your hatred for the demon clan. After all, 30 years ago, his sister's body couldn't be found. Not even a small memento. Then who exactly sold the beast summoning catalyst to students in Lu? A shop that appeared in the back streets of Lemurn City this year. It is very famous among first-year students. Are you saying the enemy infiltrated Lemurn City? The people were not directly related to Tartarus, just that Tartarus managed to funnel items through the store. What exactly are they after? Hearing this, the headmaster kept flipping through the record sheet in his hand. The next second, he widened his eyes. It turns out that Chloe Muller's name was on the list as well, having purchased a black grimoire. Elena, hurry and call Professor Len Horace over. At this moment, the headmaster gazed at his left hand and fell into deep thought. The intuition from struggling on the edge of life and death countless times, it told him that something dangerous was about to happen. On the other side, Leoplav and the others were engaging monsters. At this moment, he realized he had used super senses for too long, and everyone was clearly about to reach their limit. So he signaled to everyone, let's rest and replenish stamina next. A moment later, everyone began to rest in this forest. Meanwhile, Chloe Muller was alone to the side, studying her grimoire. At this time, Alia found Chloe Muller. I want to ask what relationship you and Leoplav have. Could you be a couple? Regarding this, Chloe Muller denied it on the spot. Judging from your reaction, indeed not. At this moment, Chloe Muller gazed at Alia in front of her and fell into deep thought. The senior who enrolled 30 years ago, sure enough, was also just like a first-year freshman, just like our classmates. Why do you ask me this question? Could it be you are interested in Leoplav? Of course, my heart pounds when I see him. So, it's love at first sight? Even the genius magic girl Alia Geron, known by everyone 30 years later, thinks Leoplav is amazing? I don't know if I truly like him either. Anyway, seeing him reminds me of my brother who acts rashly. The same feeling of the heart beating wildly when I succeed. Hearing this, Chloe Muller was very shocked. Does the evil eye sorcerer also mess up? He is a guy who likes to challenge the impossible. Challenging the impossible? Leoplav is very much like that too. At first, Leoplav and I were just friends, but now I am very jealous of him. Hearing this, Alia Geron smiled at Chloe Muller. We are really alike, Miss Chloe Muller. Actually, I am also jealous of my brother too. Every time I see him do things so well, I feel very unlucky. I'll tell you a secret. Actually, my original magic system was made by my brother. Although I am very good at using original magic, I do poorly when creating new magic. Moreover, I even failed the Lemurn exams twice. Once I really hated my brother. An inexplicable sense of inferiority rose in my heart, but at a certain point, that jealousy turned into admiration. Hearing this, Chloe Muller subconsciously touched the grimoire in her bag. Do you mean Leoplav is the object of my longing? Just then, Leoplav seemed to sense something. Everyone get up quickly. Change of plans. We can't escape now. Subsequently, the crowd quickly entered a combat stance. Don't feel afraid. Remember, you are future heroes. The next second, Chuburn descended from the sky. I finally found you, sprout of a great hero. He slammed a heavy blow towards the crowd, but Leoplav managed to dodge into the air. Hearing this, Leoplav was puzzled. Chuburn's order in the Chad murderers incident was to eradicate all hero sprouts, but now he had shown particular hostility towards Leoplav. Moreover, just now, he mentioned great hero, Chloe Muller. Its attack is coming. Chuburn threw a fierce attack at Chloe Muller, but she immediately used an ice wall to block it. At the same time, Leoplav had already injected aura into his sword, subsequently jumping into the air and swinging his fierce sword, aiming at his opponent. The powerful slash instantly severed Chuburn's neck, just as the crowd thought the enemy had been defeated. But the next second, a horrifying scene happened. Chuburn's wound had instantly recovered. Everyone, focus. Keep your distance from Chuburn. That is nullification, a curse that can make attacks disappear. However, the nullification curse isn't omnipotent, and there is a limit to the number of times he can cast the curse on himself. Do you still feel you have a chance of winning? Remnants of a great hero. You are the one that is so afraid of a new great hero being born, right? The next second, Leoplav led the crowd to launch an attack. Seeing this, this. Alia immediately used light magic to assist from the side. Damn it, this is the light magic that I hate. Lord Silatuna was right. I must kill them here. At this moment, facing the crowd's attack, Chubrin slammed fiercely onto the ground. Subsequently, countless broken stones attacked straight towards the surroundings. Unfortunately, some of the party members were still hit by the broken stones. Without the slightest hesitation, Leoplav immediately picked up the teammate and ran towards the rear. At the same time, Chloe Muller used an ice wall for temporary defense. Is everyone okay? I can still hold on, but Balak is in danger. Don't worry, the attack didn't hit his organs. Use aura to stop the bleeding first. Chloe Muller, I need you to use a powerful single blow. Saying this, Leoplav used star magic to buy time for Chloe Muller. While Leoplav buys me time, I need a powerful attack that can break the nullification spell. If that's the case, it has to be this one. At this moment, everyone present felt incomparably shocked, because Leoplav managed to fight with Chubrin head-on, and even severely injured Chubrin multiple times. Will we possess this kind of combat talent one day? I sure hope so. And Alia recognized at a glance that this was star magic. Who exactly is this guy? At the same time, an ominous magic power drifted from not far away. Chloe Muller had unfolded a huge dark magic circle. At this moment, she revealed an evil smirk. Filthy demon scum, I will kill you. Leoplav, you will get caught in. Get out of the way. If you get swept in and burned to death, I won't be responsible. The next second, a burst of dark flame attacked straight towards Chubrin. Not ice magic, it's actually a fire attack. At this moment, Chubrin, hit by the flames, was letting out painful wails. Seeing this, Chloe Muller began to laugh incomparably crazily. Unquenchable flame, die in eternally burning pain. But subsequently, the flame actually slowly turned black. Seeing this, Leoplav immediately signaled Chloe Muller to hurry and dispel the magic, but she seemed not to hear, continuing to increase the magic output. This kind of guy, they must suffer even more. Leoplav immediately rushed towards Chloe Muller's direction, immediately knocking the grimoire in her hand flying with one sword strike. The two of them landed safely on the ground, and only then did Chloe Muller regain her senses. Chloe Muller, tell the truth. Is that unquenchable flame really your original magic? No, it isn't. I just used the magic formula in the grimoire. Sure enough, that is definitely Erebus's flame. Chloe Muller, listen clearly. You used dark magic just now. That grimoire of yours is a demon artifact. Hearing this, Chloe Muller immediately fell into deep self-blame. What exactly did I do? Leoplav, I am not qualified to be a hero anymore. Pull yourself together. Chloe Muller, the record of this battle didn't mention Chubrin having a nullification curse. That means Chubrin used up the nullification curse when fighting Alia's squad. Do you understand? 30 years ago, they fought to the last moment. They didn't choose to give up in this battle that is impossible to win. Do you still remember Lemern Academy's teaching? It is to break through your limits and go beyond. At this moment, Chloe Muller finally realized she admired Leoplav's figure from behind. It simply was just too cool to even feel jealousy. Just then, Alia handed the staff in her hand to Chloe Muller. Please, Lady Chloe, the next is up to you. Fortunately, Chloe Muller's attack made Chubrin's nullify curse disappear. Now is the time to settle this. The next second, a burst of magic chanting came from not far away. I, Chloe Muller, also want to break my own limits, in order not to let down everyone who believes in me. At this time, Leoplav revealed a faint smile. This is truly magical. To have a magician right behind me once again. This scene reminded him of a time in the past with Luna, a pure magician's rune language. Why does it bring me courage? The next second, Leoplav engaged in a fierce struggle with Chubrin. Facing such a powerful blow from Chubrin, Leoplav barely raised his sword to block it. But just as he was in a daze, Chubrin's fist swung strongly. Leoplav managed to block the suddenly striking heavy punch, but it still knocked him away, crashing into a tree. Is that all you have? It looks like your time of death has arrived. Great heroes sprout. Suddenly, snowflakes fell from the sky one by one. Whether now or in the past, you demons will never be a match for us. Just as Chubrin felt puzzled by this. Chubrin, this is where it ends for you. Thanks to you, I finally completed my own original magic. I greatly appreciate you, Leoplav. This is my original magic, Ice World. At this moment, Chubrin had already been frozen into an ice sculpture, accompanying Leoplav gently touching the ice sculpture. The next second, Chubrin turned into black smoke and disappeared from the spot. And at this time, Leoplav noticed the grimoire emitting dark magic on the ground. With his flame aura-covered sword, he pierced the grimoire, destroying it completely. Completed objective, rescued first-year students in crisis, successfully killed Chubrin. Your original magic is really impressive. Field magic is something I can never learn in my life. Leoplav, I want to come clean to the whole school about what I did. Maybe I might be expelled. A hero candidate like you won't be expelled. I guarantee you will definitely become a hero. You two are truly amazing. You are like real heroes. Thank you as well. Everyone worked hard this time. Thanks to your weapon, we could repel the enemy. But Alia pushed the weapon back. Chloe Muller, you should have it. At the same time, Leoplav also received weapons gifted by Alia's squad. A moment later, young Albigeron finally arrived. He looks about the same as us. At this moment, a window prompt came from the front. Clearance complete. Albigeron's world. Prologue. Chad murderer's incident. It's great everyone is still alive. Just as Alia prepared to introduce the two to Albi, they suddenly disappeared from the spot. It looks like the hero's world collapsed. Just then, Leoplav noticed the window floating in front. Strategy reward. Keepsake. Leoplav opened his eyes and had returned to reality. At this moment, Albigeron found Leoplav. Thank you for saving them. Also expressed thanks to Chloe Muller for me. After saying this, he turned and left the place. A moment later, Headmaster Kallian also came into the room. How are you feeling now, Leoplav? I'm fine now. There's no problem at all. So, what exactly happened in there? Is this matter related to Chloe Muller's dark magic grimoire? How exactly did you know? We found the place and Lou bought the summoning catalyst is the same shop where Chloe Muller bought the grimoire. Sure enough, that dark magic book is a demon god's tool. Demon god's tool, an item transformed from Erebus fragments, is a powerful weapon for demons, but if races other than demons use it, they will slowly lose their sanity. Then let me tell you from the beginning. Subsequently, he told the headmaster the process of encountering Alia's squad, Chloe Muller using dark magic, and finally defeating Chubrin. Student Leoplav, do you mean the demon god's tool had an effect on the hero's world? Of course I think the possibility is high. After all, the hero dungeon returned to normal after destroying the demon god's tool. Headmaster Kallian, why are you here? Subsequently, the headmaster signaled Elena to bring things in. Alia's squad's weapons impressively appeared before everyone's eyes. Please explain, why did rewards that shouldn't have appeared come into your hands? Judging from Chloe Muller's reaction, she herself didn't receive a reward. The entrance exam and the Chad murderers incident. The rule that there is no reward for clearing even if the hero himself is alive, as well as obtaining rewards related to the hero world owner. This rule was broken, but what is the reason? The strategy reward is the Fairy King's Pact. That was something rewarded to me before. Are you saying Albi Geron's hero world gave a strategy reward? That's right. However, I think this is an abnormal phenomenon appearing when the hero world turned into a dungeon. Saying this, Leo Plov thought in his heart, it would be best to cover it up for now. Why did only you get a reward? Judging from Chloe Muller's reaction, she knew nothing. Could it be because Leo Plov made a huge contribution in the hero world? After all, I remember that the rewards vary based on the contribution to the strategy. I will investigate this phenomenon privately. After investigating, I will give the keepsakes to their families. Also, you too, don't tell anyone about the demon god's tool. After all, the enemies aren't just outside. Alright, you guys just rest well first. At this moment, Chloe Muller looked at Leo Plov somewhat nervously. Leo Plov, I have something to say to you. Just as she blushingly prepared to say it, the next second, Celia Zerdinger's group suddenly barged into the room. Leo, are you alright? Just then, the headmaster suddenly entered the room again, reminding everyone, hero candidates, a party will be held tomorrow night. If you don't have formal wear, you should visit Lemurn City in advance. Hearing this, the two were very surprised. Attend what party? Soon, the Lemurn first-year student party ceremony finally arrived. First to enter were Carl Thomas and Tate. They started eating and drinking excessively as soon as they entered. During this time, another pair of heroes entered. They were Class 5's Nella Carvin and Ileana Layden. You didn't steal your dad's tuxedos to wear, right? Next is the pride of the Rodran Empire, the Llewellyn siblings. Following closely behind are Celia Zerdinger of the Zerdinger family and Leo Plov. It's actually the class president, Leo Plov. That's the pride of Class 5, leading Lemurn towards the right path. Beloved students, are you enjoying the party? Seeing this, Carl Thomas was petrified on the spot, and the crowd hurriedly affirmed this. After all, if they said the wrong thing, she would suddenly go berserk. It's great seeing everyone so happy. Then next, I want to release the midterm exam results. Can we still enjoy the party properly after hearing it? I expected everyone would have this reaction, so here I will only announce the list of students in the top 3 for each subject score. The rest will be announced by homeroom professors tomorrow. Now, the professors of each department will start announcing the names. At this moment, Professor Ina Lenda began to present. Everyone worked hard for the first midterm exam. The names will be called in order, starting with the top student from the night department, Celia Zerdinger, Duran Mora, Chen Xia. However, Celia Zerdinger was very puzzled. Why isn't Leo Plov included in the list? Immediately after, the magic department also announced the list. Abad Llewellyn, Chelsea Llewellyn, Emil Luchen. Why isn't Leo Plov on this list either? But Leo Plov comforted her that this was also possible. Not only Leo Plov, even Chloe Muller's name did not appear. However, this was completely within Chloe Muller's expectations. After all, the grimoire matter was discovered, so her magic department practical exam score could only be treated as 0. But even so, the magic department professor still regarded Chloe Muller's performance highly for the passion of exploring knowledge as a mage. In Sejin's heart, Chloe Muller would always be magic department first place. Summoning department rookies, let's do even better next semester. Immediately after, she announced the top 3 students of the summoning department, Warden, Eliza, and Jordan. Why is Leo Plov's name nowhere? Everyone is having fun, right? Next, releasing the midterm exam chief freshman representative. Midterm exam overall first place. The next freshman representative is Leo Plov. In an instant, the whole venue was in an uproar. I object. Leo Plov didn't even enter the top 3. How can he become the freshman representative? And even Leo Plov was somewhat puzzled. What he said isn't unreasonable. Why would it be me? There is a reason for this. Subsequently, she immediately turned on berserk mode. You bastards. I will only explain once, so keep my words firmly in mind. This guy is quite interesting no matter when. First, dual class students cannot be measured by the ranking of each subject's scores, because their unique status makes it difficult for fair competition with other students. Take a magic swordsman for example. Their sword aura is weaker than pure knights, and their magic is weaker than pure mages. But when 2 abilities combine, they can explode with amazing effects. Second, Leo Plov's score in the Hero Studies and Combat Department Joint Practical Exam was the highest in the first year. But didn't everyone get the highest score in the Joint Practical Exam? You idiots! Leo Plov overfulfilled the task in the Hero World. This guy Leo Plov, he defeated Chubrin in the Hero World. At this moment, everyone present felt incomparably shocked. You actually defeated Chubrin with Chloe Muller, the 2 of you? Regarding this, Leo Plov slowly nodded in affirmation. Seeing this, all of the other students seem to have been finally convinced. Since the results announcement is over, everyone start enjoying the party. Len, if Leo Plov's grades were part of the rankings, what would be the result? The magic department would definitely turn upside down, because everyone's ranking would drop by 1. Leo Plov is the magic department's first place. Summoning and night department's first place is also Leo Plov. It seems his wish to become an all-class hero isn't impossible. Simultaneously, the professors declare that Leo Plov will succeed in their respective classes. You two stop fighting. Leo Plov is most suitable to hold a sword. The following day, Carl Thomas was feeling very uncomfortable for drinking too much orange juice in the party. Just then, Professor Harlan announced the school trip notice to everyone. This time we're heading to the elf's territory. Just as everyone was looking forward to this trip, we are going to El Salvikia this time. Hearing this, the crowd instantly felt very disappointed. After all, El Salvikia is a small country at the northernmost of the elf territory. If you have any complaints, take it up with the class president, because he chose this destination. Items everyone needs can be purchased in advance at Lemurn City. El Salvikia, to humans, that country indeed isn't very conspicuous, but that is the fairy's sanctuary. The fairy land is hidden there. It makes me wonder if Silrid is doing well. At this moment, Leoplav and Nella met at Lemurn City. I am responsible for buying food and equipment supplies. You take care of the potions. Subsequently, after some bargaining and going into different stores, Leoplav finally bought all the needed items. Just then, he seemed to sense something strange. Karaza District Street number 13, the store known as Lutek. This was the place where Sinlu and Chloe Muller bought the demon god's tools. Realizing this, Leoplav entered the house to check. The Lemurn investigation team didn't find anything special. Now, only a teddy bear doll remained here. Why would there be a teddy bear doll here? Lemurn should have taken all items for investigation. Could it be a cognitive decline curse? The next second, the doll's eyes burst with dark magic power, spraying out a large amount of black liquid from its eyes. And subsequently, a huge demon impressively appeared behind Leoplav. It tried to attack him, but Leoplav managed to dodge away. This was no ordinary demon, and there were multiple active curses. At this moment, Leoplav suddenly realized that this voice was familiar. Kid, your senses are very sharp to actually discover my curse. This was the demon queen, Silatuna, one of the 3 Legion commanders who failed to be subjugated 500 years ago. However, the one in front was just a clone made of flesh, aura and magic. Could it be a magic swordsman? Your ability is quite good, but this is where you die. Saying this, the monster suddenly launched an attack on Leoplav. Unfortunately, Leoplav's arm was scratched by the attack. Damn it, I'm no match for her now. I must think of a way to leave here. Sprout of the great hero, I will enjoy devouring you completely. Just as the monster prepared to swallow Leoplav in one bite, the next second, a golden light lit up. Spear of light. In an instant, a huge light spear hit the monster's body straight on, nailing it to the ground on the spot, unable to move. It's actually the Evil Eye Sorcerer. This is truly great. Having an audience is a good thing. Saying this, the monster controlled its arm. Suddenly, it launched another attack at Leoplav, but was instantly blocked by Albigeron's magic. You are truly filthy, trash of the demon clan. At this moment, the monster suddenly launched an attack on him, but Albigeron appeared not to care. I have no interest in clones. With just one blow, Albigeron eliminated the monster completely on the spot. Albigeron, the Evil Eye Sorcerer. His other nickname is the Executioner of Tartarus. The reason he works as a professor at Lemurn is only one: to obtain the right to hunt Tartarus at will. At this time, Leoplav acknowledged that he was indebted to the hero of this era. Leoplav, what happened just now? I was investigating Lutek, but was attacked by this cursed teddy bear doll. I will hold the Lemurn investigation team accountable. As for your solitary investigation of Lutek, I'll let you off for now. If you need help in the future, just come find me, because I'm grateful for what you did before. The Geron family is one of the 3 major families managing Lemurn Academy. Maybe I can ask Professor Albigeron to help me access the forbidden archives. A moment later, Leoplav reunited with Nella. Nella saw Leoplav was injured, so she used healing magic to treat him. Now it can be basically confirmed that Silatuna was the mastermind of the Beast Mage and the Dark Magic Grimoire. However, what is their goal? A few days later, it was now time for the school trip. Did everyone pack all the supplies they need? Leoplav, why is your class going to such a cold place like El Salvikia? Leoplav replied, the weather is so hot, we're basically going to escape the heat. I see. Well, I hate the cold the most. You guys take care. Subsequently, Leoplav signaled the crowd of Class 5 to prepare to enter. Then next, we will head to the elf's territory, El Salvikia. On the other side, inside the Siron Academy Elf Hero Academy, a person like you is actually a student of the Great Siron Academy. A half-blood elf who isn't a noble family doesn't belong here. Hearing this, the half-blood elf couldn't say anything back. You shouldn't bully other students. Act like proper descendants of Siron. The person speaking was from the famous elf hero family, Rundoa, the Siron Academy first-year representative, Runia El Rundoa, a half-blood elf appearing in Siron Academy. Runia, don't you think this is a disgrace? That's right, and the clothes he wears are so uncivilized. Since you dislike his clothes, then you can very well take yours off and give them to him. You guys have absolutely no intention of helping. You just want to bully him. Runia, you are a descendant of a famous family. You must not speak that way. Isn't it shameful for you guys to bully one person, actually speaking such vulgar language? If you don't like it, then fight me. Finally, just as Runia was about to get angry, the two hurriedly left the place. Why are you wearing so few clothes? That is because someone stole my clothes. The person speaking was Luca Enners, Saren's first-year Class 3, a half-blood elf. Runia, your mood seems very good today. Of course, because my familiar finally hatched. Hearing this, Luca immediately expressed congratulations to Runia. A moment later, Runia came to her father's room. Father, heard my familiar appeared, right? Runia, didn't I tell you to call me teacher when we were in school? The person speaking was exactly the patriarch of the Rundoa family, Farina's benefactor, Elon Rundoa. That's right, Farina's child hatched. But when can we meet it? However, a problem appeared. Runia, your familiar has already signed a contract with someone else. We will have to investigate the details later. The thief who stole my familiar, who exactly is it? At this time, the crowd arrived at the capital of El Salvikia, the city of Velkia. At this moment, everyone was complaining about the cold weather. Stop making a fuss. Go line up quickly. Here is the capital of El Salvikia, the city of Velkia. Does anyone know the history here? Velkia is one of the disciples of founder of the nebula, Luna. The city is named after fairy knight Belkia Ursur, but the actual situation is, Belkia was a disciple of the 3, Kyle, Luna, and Aaron. Leoplav didn't expect that arrogant guy from back then is now actually called the fairy knight. Correct answer. The descendants of the fairy knight, the Ursur family, are currently holding the position of council leader. Just then, several figures slowly appeared before everyone's eyes. Professor Harlan, have you been well recently? At this moment, the elf slowly opened his mouth and said, Professor Harlan, I have been waiting for you. The person speaking was exactly the council leader of El Salvikia, the patriarch of the Ursur family, Ren Ursur. You are still the same as old times. It looks like I found the one I'm going to marry. Don't you care about age at all? Those elves are very long-lived and don't age easily. Do you know how old he is? Subsequently, the crowd began to discuss one after another. These students are all very lively. The students Professor Harlan leads are usually strictly disciplined. Excuse me, may I ask your name and age? My name is Ren Ursur. I am 97 years old this year. Hearing this, Ileana was petrified on the spot. Are you the guide for this trip? I am the patriarch patriarch of the Ursa family, and at the same time the council leader of El Salvikia. In an instant, Carl Thomas was also petrified on the spot. Later that evening, at the school trip dormitory, the environment around was clearly a mess. Do we really have to live in this kind of place? If you don't like it, I have other plans. I prepared an outdoor sleeping area, if anyone wants to. Hearing this, the crowd began to tidy up the rooms. At the same time, Tate and Carl Thomas walked stealthily upstairs. After all, the biggest fun of traveling is going to the girls' rooms. But it turns out that Chelsea Llewellyn had appeared before them, and immediately after, the two were fiercely taught a lesson by Chelsea Llewellyn. Meanwhile, Leo Plov planned to go out for a stroll. Unexpectedly, an elf had stopped him. Leo Plov, the patriarch, Renurser, wants to see you. A moment later, Leo Plov arrived at the Renurser's office. Leo Plov, you came just in time. However, I am a bit busy now. Please just wait for a moment. Then can I take a look around here? Renurser replied. Go right ahead, Leo Plov. It seemed like there are quite a few old items here. Suddenly, Leo Plov locked his gaze on an object. Could this be the Urquint? How would you know of the Urquint? That is an origin only known to the patriarch of Urser. I saw this myself in the ancient documents in the Lumern Grand Library. Although it contains an abundant amount of mana, it isn't the real thing. Back then, Luna gave Urquint to her disciple Belkia. In the end, before going on the expedition, Belkia had lost the item in the battle with Tartarus. Urquint is a reward obtained by the ancestors long ago after conquering Lord Belkia's hero world. But unfortunately, weapons obtained in the hero world cannot be used by anyone except the conqueror, so that's why this weapon feels like only a shell of what it once was. I heard from Harlan, you are an all-class hero, and also the Lumern first-year student representative. I know it's rude to entrust you with something on our first meeting, but can you meet my granddaughter? Ren's granddaughter is a first-year student at Siron Academy. That child has talent and entered the academy with excellent grades, but suddenly lost motivation after enrolling. I hope you, someone who is a different race but of similar age, can stimulate her. A moment later, Leo Plov opened the room, and it turns out that the room was a mess. Judging from the murals hanging on the wall, this guy should be a fan of the great heroes. I knew there were kids who collected this kind of stuff, but this is just extreme. Just as Leo Plov was admiring the Siron school uniform, someone had woken up in the room. How could Grandpa let an outsider enter here casually? This was Iron Urser, the second-ranked first year at Siron Academy. At this moment, Leo Plov and Iron locked eyes, and suddenly, Iron had come to a shocking realization. You're an actual human. Your grandfather asked me to see you. I didn't expect you to have collected so many books about Kyle just like I did. Let me see how else describe Kyle. The great subjugation of monsters in the northern mountains might be Kyle's achievement. This information is organized quite well. At this time, Iron slowly poked her head out. Do you like Kyle too? Subsequently, they talked about the Battle of Darnos. Do you know where the forces of Commander Zerga were defeated? It was Edvilik, the place where Luna first used star magic. That's right, this is a record of the great heroes that most people don't know. At this moment, Iron seemed to have found a new and shiny friend. I am Iron Urser. It was our first time meeting, yet I kept talking non-stop. I'm sorry. Don't worry about it. If the great heroes knew someone was telling their stories, they would be very happy. This is just my opinion, but although there are 4 great heroes confirmed in history, there might have been a 5th one. Leo Plov replied, you are talking about the hero of the beginning, Kyle? I think he really existed too. After going back, I plan to establish a research society to study Kyle's whereabouts. Hearing the word school, Iron suddenly fell silent. Iron, why do you refuse to go to school? Siron Academy doesn't suit me. Everyone works hard wanting to become true heroes. A person like me that isn't that serious is not worthy of becoming a hero. However, Leo Plov thought that because her uniform was still neatly kept here, she still hasn't fully given up. Iron, besides me, many humans have come here. The people in our class want to meet you after hearing your story. You should know, there are schools that train heroes in the human world too, just like Siron, right? If you are curious about Lumern Academy students, just come over and look. Subsequently, Leo Plov turned and left the place. Just outside the door, Ren Urser was waiting there all this time. Did you actually chat with Iron all this time? This child hasn't chatted with others for so long. It looks like Iron opened her heart to you. Then as her grandfather, how should I repay you? How about gifting you a helpful magic item? A moment later, the two came to the Urser family's treasury. The next second, Leo Plov noticed the amber on the shelf. I'll take this. This is a gem possessing fairy power obtained by the previous patriarch 20 years ago. Although the carved fairy is very exquisite, it has no other use besides that. Subsequently, Ren Urser gave this object to Leo Plov, but Leo Plov realized this isn't a carved item. This is a real fairy inside. The next day, Harlan announced the future schedule to everyone. Starting tomorrow, wake up at 6 in the morning, do individual training in the fairy forest near the city in the morning, and have mission practice in the afternoon. Didn't we do sufficient individual training at the academy? During the school trip, I will focus on correcting your deficiencies. Did everyone present think they came to play? For the record, this schedule was written by the class president. We can treat it as real combat training. This fairy forest has monsters. Subsequently, after announcing some precautions, Harlan reminded them to rest well. Later in his room, Leo Plov gazed at the amber in his hand and fell into deep thought. It was sealed inside by the fairy king using magic. It's not a surprise for Ren Urser to think it was just a carving. After all, after the age of catastrophe, the fairy king's familiar disappeared. Elves who have seen that magic no longer exist today. But Leo Plov knew what this was, because this is Silrid's magic power. It was finally time to use the fairy king's pack that I had received before. Leo Plov slowly condensed his magic power. In the next second, the amber emitted bursts of golden light. As father finally released the seal, why is some random human standing before me? Who is this guy? Leo Plov asked in puzzlement. I am the eldest son of the great fairy king, heir to the fairy king, the silver fairy, Kiran. Just then, Leo Plov flicked his finger on Kiran's forehead. Speak with some respect. Even your father was polite to me. How dare you insult the fairy king, Silrid? As he kept talking back, Leo Plov kept punishing him with forehead flicks. Subsequently, from the two's conversation, Kiran learned that Leo Plov was actually the contractor his father spoke of. That should be the case, and I broke your seal too. Do you have a problem with that? Thinking about it, signing a contract with a human is quite nice too. Even that gentle-natured Silrid had to take away all of your 6 wings to seal you here. Looks like Prince Kirin, you are a troublemaker. I didn't expect you to know this matter. Looks like you really are the contractor. At this moment Leoplav intended to let him return to the fairyland to call Silrid over, but was refused by him because he must retrieve his 6 wings to return to the fairyland. If you wish to meet my father, help me retrieve my 6 wings. I believe the first one is in the fairy forest, which used to be our home. Silrid, looks like your son was destined to come to my side. Early the next morning, Harlan took everyone to the fairy forest. At this moment everyone looked at the scene before them with shocked faces. Chelsea Llewellyn planned to use wind magic to cross here, but it seemed not feasible. It looks like you need to train now. It turns out that a few minutes ago, Leoplav indicated to Ileana that her swordsmanship and magic were uncoordinated, so she must participate in private training today, and Carl Thomas and Tade were respectively insufficient in alchemy application and summon beast application. Just then, Chelsea Llewellyn found Leoplav. Leoplav, you said before my understanding of wind magic is insufficient, so let me see your strength. Leoplav agreed without hesitation, and Chelsea Llewellyn knew deeply that the ability Leoplav displayed always far exceeded her imagination. This time, Chelsea Llewellyn didn't plan to give him time to prepare. The next second, she suddenly used the spell, Windbreaker, to attack Leoplav. Seeing this, Leoplav casted the exact same spell, Windbreaker. In an instant, the two magic powers collided fiercely and then cancelled each other out. High-speed chanting was Chelsea Llewellyn's specialty, yet Leoplav actually used the same speed to counterattack. At this time Chelsea Llewellyn used Wind Chain to attack Leoplav, but Leoplav remained very calm. Chelsea Llewellyn, didn't I say when we first met, wind magic shouldn't be used like that? Effortlessly, Leoplav instantly broke all of Chelsea Llewellyn's magic, subsequently raising his hand to release a wind bolt, attacking straight towards Chelsea Llewellyn, knocking Chelsea Llewellyn back into a tree. Chelsea Llewellyn, you lost this time. Is this actually wind magic? Even the crowd on the side was somewhat surprised. Chelsea Llewellyn actually lost to the class president in wind magic. From a mage's perspective, Chelsea Llewellyn doesn't lose to Leoplav, but the gap in understanding and ability to use wind between the two is too large. That's why Chelsea Llewellyn lost to Leoplav. So mastering your fundamentals is more important than anything else. The higher the grade, the more techniques will be learned. So everyone will exercise basic skills under the class president's guidance. Later on, after the training is concluded, Leoplav was gathering herbs as his field training. After all, under Leoplav's guidance, everyone was too tired to have the strength to complete the task. At this moment Kirin found Leoplav holding a pile of herbs, truly worthy of a fairy. You actually found so many herbs. This will be enough for today. Next, let's start seriously investigating the fairy forest. We shall begin the journey to find your wings. A moment later, Leoplav suddenly stopped his steps. Kirin, how long has it been since you were exiled from fairyland? Kirin told him that it was probably over 100 years ago. This is illusion magic. Although it is the fairy king's magic, this does not belong to Silrid. This is the magic of Silrid's father, the age of catastrophe fairy king ground. However, the magic activation is at most 100 years or so. Judging from the time, the magic's power source is Kirin's wings. He must have used his son's wings in an ancient magic formula, indicating there is something very important inside. Just then, a creature appeared in the snow, and a foul smell assaulted their faces. Why are there humans in elf territory? But Leoplav replied, an undead creature like you appearing here is even stranger, right? This has been Tartarus's territory since long ago. This is our fairy's sanctuary. You are speaking nonsense. Fairy, is there actually such a weak and pathetic fairy like you? What did you just say? In the next second, Kirin immediately used elf magic to attack the skeleton, piercing right through its chest while he was covered in magic, and Kirin was very confident in his strength. After all, the powers of a fairy counters the undead. But suddenly, Kirin noticed a change in his opponent. The skeleton had actually recovered its injuries. The skeleton revealed a fierce-looking weapon in its hands, just as Kirin charged in once again. At this moment Leoplav warned Kirin to dodge. The skeleton smashed its giant sword on the ground, and fierce and menacing auras erupted from the skeleton. Countless black auras attacked straight towards Kirin. Just at that moment, Kirin was able to turn directions and dodge the attack, and he immediately fled back to Leoplav's side. What the heck is that? This is a monster of Tartarus that has existed since long ago. This is a death knight. My name is Karger, a knight serving the great Lich King. Saying this, it attacked straight towards Leoplav. At this moment, Leoplav was able to draw his sword and attack, but just then, Karger suddenly appeared behind him. I will be the one to lead you to your death. At this moment, Karger suddenly appeared behind him. I will be the one to lead you to your death. The next second, a powerful sword aura instantly attacked towards Leoplav, but he still managed to defend with a shield. I didn't expect an aura shield to be deployed in such a short time. Karger suddenly charged at Leoplav once again, the two of them clashing swords in the middle. Human, your strength is decent, but this is a waste of effort. And Kirin on the side still wanted to help Leoplav, but surprisingly, Kirin just fell to the ground after hitting Karger. I'm already out of strength. If only I had my wings, the outcome would have been different. I summon you in the name of the Pact Bearer. Listen to my summons. Seeing this, Karger was stunned on the spot. At this moment, Leoplav had manifested flaming phoenix wings behind him. It seems like I'm not his only familiar. Leoplav slashed his sword with the aura of a phoenix, instantly cutting Karger in half. Subsequently, the aura reverted back into a chick, so it really is a phoenix. You have a phoenix and a fairy? Looks like I absolutely cannot let you leave alive. At this moment, Karger inserted his giant sword into the ground. Army of Death, swallow these lives. Activate Death Ground. This is a curse that endlessly summons undead. At this moment, Leoplav suddenly revealed a faint smile. This is truly getting more and more interesting. Subsequently, Leoplav used Kyle's magic, non-attribute magic, Earth Wave, just as the enemy looked puzzled. At this moment, Leoplav had already charged forward. Kyle-style, Vortex. Leoplav unleashed a swirling blade slash. He used the path opened by the sword aura to run past and away from his opponent. Seeing this, the skeleton was very angry. If you are a knight, fight me with honor. What joke? After you summon a bunch of underlings. Subsequently, Leoplav used Aura Step to flee the place. At this moment, Leoplav finally found a safe place to rest. I didn't expect a death knight to appear in the fairy forest. Could it be there is something targeted by Tartarus here? Just as as Leoplav was thinking, a skeleton soldier walked slowly towards him. Just as he prepared to draw his sword to kill it, the next second, countless sword shadows flashed past. Subsequently, a sharp blade pointed at Leoplav. Did you summon it, human? Not at all. I am a student of Lemurn. This undead creature has nothing to do with me. Judging from the uniform in front, this guy is a student of Siron Academy. But he didn't believe Leoplav's words, and immediately launched an attack on him. However, Leoplav easily dodged the attack, and with just one move, Leoplav knocked him down to the ground. I apologize for the rudeness. My name is Runia El Rundoa, a first-year student at Siron Academy. I hope you don't think every student is like him because of this. Of course. However, I am curious why you appeared here. I came here for the Belkia field training. While Leoplav expressed it was a school trip. Well then, I have to go report to my professor now. Runia El Rundoa. Where have I heard that name before? At this moment, Leoplav told Professor Harlan and Ren Urser about encountering the Death Knight. How can monsters appear here? The contamination shouldn't be that serious. At this moment a voice came. Misunderstandings generated by ignorance are also false intelligence. A first-year student who just stepped out of the academy met a Death Knight. The person speaking was the Siron Academy first-year homeroom teacher, Herdium Wintel. He believed Leoplav definitely mistook a skeleton soldier for a Death Knight. He didn't think Leoplav had the ability to retreat safely after encountering a Death Knight. He is just a mere first-year student. Professor Harlan, do you also believe his words? Of course. Although he is only a first year, he is the all-class freshman representative. If what he says is true, then Siron Academy students can also take the opportunity to gain some knowledge. Since you are all-class, you should also be very confident in magic, right? I propose a joint class between Siron Advanced Class 1 and Lemurn. Soon, the two academies held an exchange meeting. The Class 5 students were all excited for the event. However, Leoplav didn't expect this Herdium Wintel to actually hold an exchange meeting. At this moment a voice stopped Leoplav. We seem to have met. Runia El Rundoa had appeared before Leoplav. Would you want to dance together? Seeing this, Leoplav accepted the offer and danced with Runia. Runia was even surprised, because Leoplav actually knew elven dances. Speaking of which, I haven't asked your name yet. My name is Leoplav. Hearing this, she immediately grabbed him by the collar. You're the thief who stole my familiar. I'm going to kill you. At this moment Leoplav also realized, so she is Fiora's original pack-bearer. I understand. Do not worry. Fiora is doing very well with me. Hearing this she immediately lost her temper, and immediately after wanted to beat up Leoplav. Later, under the communication of professors from both sides, Runia finally expressed her apologies to Leoplav. Please forgive my rudeness. Leoplav accepted her apology generously, and he quickly left the place with Professor Harlan. Runia, don't make the same mistake in the future. You are the Siron first-year representative. During the joint class tomorrow, you will definitely prove Siron is more outstanding than Lemurn. No, you must prove that among all hero academies, our academy is the most outstanding one. I absolutely won't lose to that kind of guy. I bet on the honor of Siron Academy. Time quickly arrived at the day of the joint class. Hello everyone, first-year students of Siron Academy. Today, you will be able to experience a class just like at Lemurn Academy. Carl Thomas, Ileana, and Tade, you come out. This class will be led by you. You are outstanding students who survived Lemurn Academy. Let everyone see what you have learned. And Chelsea Llewellyn was very surprised. She didn't expect one person from each department to be called out. Subsequently, Ileana demonstrated aura, Carl Thomas demonstrated magic, and Tade demonstrated beast summoning. The Siron students all watched in awe at the displays, and this exactly achieved Herdium's idea. When viewed from another race's perspective, you can awaken new methods. But what puzzled him was, why didn't the freshman representative Leoplav come forward? Soon, the three finally finished their presentation. Dear students of Lemurn, this class was truly very interesting. I can feel everyone has developed their abilities deeply in various fields, but Siron pursues a different method from Lemurn. Siron students basically all learn magic, so we pursue a teaching method balanced without bias towards magic. Saying they pursue balance is ironic. They teach broadly, but all theory is soaked in magic. It seems like elves and their pretentiousness is the same as ever. It's all for show. Just as the professor was continuing his lesson, Leoplav let out an audible yawn. This guy not only talked nonsense about seeing a Death Knight, but even his attitude in class is terrible. Then the theory ends here. Let everyone see the essence of Siron. We are originally a race that naturally uses magic. In an instant, shining magic instantly lit up the entire classroom, immediately after transforming into star magic shrouded in elements. This is our essence, star magic. The formula I am writing now is a great legacy left by progenitor Lady Luna. It is the foundation of star magic. The star magic you saw just now is also a part derived from this formula. Isn't it very beautiful? Just then, Leoplav slowly raised his right hand. This formula is wrong. Hearing this, everyone present felt incomparably shocked. What do you mean by this? I mean, this magic cannot possibly activate successfully. This is incomplete magic. Of course it cannot activate. This is what ancestors restored to this form after analyzing the progenitor's legacy. But Leoplav knew deeply that it was normal for them not to know, because this magic was created by Luna specifically to teach me, the hero of beginning, Kyle, when she founded the star magic system. It looks like you have quite some research on star magic. Since you say this formula is wrong, could you show us yours? And Harlan still wanted to prevent the situation from developing further. But the next second, Leoplav slowly came to the podium. The magic elves use now is just imitation, because I, who inherited Luna's essence, died before teaching it to other elves. Maybe we were actually destined to meet in this form. Star magic is the pride of elves, and this is the progenitor's relic. If not handled well, it will become a conflict between schools. At this moment Leoplav drew a stroke on the formula. This is the complete version. The formula instantly became vivid. Even Herdium on the side felt incredibly surprised. Although he had never seen this magic, he had a very familiar feeling. At this moment Leoplav recalled the past. Luna created new magic and stated this magic would only be taught to Leoplav alone. Watch carefully. This is a magic that makes flowers bloom. The class president just did something amazing, right? What is with this expression on the professor? Could it be that guy really deciphered the founder's magic? I didn't expect this magic containing so many elements is actually a simple simple flower blooming spell. It's not that simple. During the Age of Calamity, flowers were nearly extinct. Perhaps flowers meant something special to the founder of the nebula. At the beginning, Kyle also thought this magic didn't have much use, but Luna explained happily, "Actually, I hope one day to see the world full of blooming flowers. I understand now. I feel the deeper meaning the ancestor imbued this spell with." However, he was more curious why Leoplav knew this magic. "Actually, I self-studied star magic through ancient texts. Although I am an all-class student, at the same time I am a gifted mage." Our student was rude. Let's end today's joint class here. In addition, it would be better to reserve making an official stance on this matter for the time being. But before he finished speaking, Herdium held Professor Harlan's hands tightly. "Can student Leoplav be transferred to our school?" Hearing this, Harlan immediately felt incomparably shocked. At this moment, Chelsea Llewellyn and Ileana jointly made a pot of food, but it seemed the crowd had no appetite. However, Ileana seized the opportunity to stuff a pile of food into Carl Thomas's mouth, though it looked like he didn't feel very good. Just then, Ren found Leoplav with news. Regarding the Death Knight matter, the council made a decision. The existence of multiple undead creatures and a Death Knight has been confirmed in the forest. Therefore, we formally request Lemern and Cyron to conduct an investigation regarding this abnormal phenomenon. But relying only on first-year students is too dangerous, so I entrusted Cyron to dispatch higher-grade students to help investigate. More importantly, my granddaughter wants to see you. To the side, Iron was peeking inside the room, wearing her uniform. "Leoplav, have you been well? You said I could visit, so I took the liberty to do it." Seeing the newly arriving person, the girls of Class 5 quickly started asking questions. However, Iron was extremely overwhelmed by this display, and she ran upstairs in a hurry. "Leoplav, I am counting on you once again." Immediately, Leoplav tried to find where Iron had went. It turns out, she was hiding in the balcony alone, and instantly, Leoplav covered her with a coat. "Iron, why did you run away from Siren Academy?" "That is because I am not fit to be a hero. When I was struggling for life at Siron Academy, I met a person as beautiful as the sun. She was Runia El Rondoa. Runia is a very remarkable person. She always does everything full of confidence and is very good to everyone. She is a true hero, so I began to admire her. She is an existence completely different from me, so I began to follow her footsteps, although I eventually entered the top class. But during the dual assessment, it seems I had made a huge mistake. Since then, I felt she always hated me, but Leoplav thought Iron wasn't the type to be disliked, and Runia wouldn't hate her because of such a small matter." At this moment, seeing Iron like this, he was reminded of Belkia from before. "Do you like Belkia's story?" "Of course, that is the story of my ancestor." "Then you must know, back then she followed the great heroes to travel together, and finally became a great hero, right? You don't need to care about what others think. Just walk your own path well. Let's go." The students in our class are all very nice and fun. The following day, the crowd arrived at the forest. "How exactly did you win over Iron like that?" "I just told her there was no need to be afraid of you." "Why would she be afraid of me?" "Probably because your appearance during the duel scared her. I was just too focused because Iron's actually really skilled." Hearing this, Leoplav advised Runia, "Then please pay more attention to her. She needs you." A moment later, Professor Herdium signaled to everyone that the external help arrived. Louder Algra, Cyron third-year representative. Subsequently, he greeted the professor, but Leoplav noticed the ring on his hand. "Runia, who is that person?" "You mean Senior Louder, right? Until second year his presence wasn't obvious, but this semester his strength suddenly obtained rapid growth." Hearing this, Leoplav's suspicions were raised. A moment later, Herdium began assigning groups. Leoplav, Runia, and Louder Algra were group 1. Leoplav could not believe this suspicious newcomer was in his group. Soon, Leoplav and Runia were patrolling inside the forest. "Why do I have to be paired with a thief like you? Just so you know, I still haven't acknowledged you as Fiora's contractor." At this time, Leoplav's group was assigned to deep inside the forest. Chelsea Llewellyn's group was assigned to the natural habitat of boxwood trees. Ileana and Carl Thomas's 2 teams were assigned to the medicinal herb colony, and the rest were arranged at the forest entrance. "Where did Senior Louder go? Didn't we say group members move together?" And Leoplav suddenly remembered Louder told him before that he would act alone for now, then meet Leoplav and Runia at the forest center. Maybe he has some things he needs to do alone. At this moment, Leoplav sensed the surrounding magic power. On the surface, it was similar to when he came last time. Illusion magic that doesn't belong to Silrids. There was a curse on this land that wasn't here before. Only Leoplav, who experienced the Age of Catastrophe, could detect it. And Leoplav suddenly remembered a key figure. That was Erebus's most loyal servant, the Tartarus Legion commander who survived the Age of Catastrophe, the Lich King Hellkaiser. But the Lich King absolutely wouldn't act personally, so Death Knight Karger is his agent. And so, Leoplav realized there was something Silrid absolutely wanted to protect in the forest. "What's wrong? Do you sense something?" The next second, an ominous magic power suddenly appeared. "Get ready, something is coming." Just after the 2 entered combat preparations, Louder suddenly appeared before the 2's eyes. "First-year representatives, how about it? Did you encounter any undead creatures?" Regarding this, Runia shook her head indicating no. "You are the first person to discover the Death Knight, right?" "That's right." Leoplav reached out to sense his ring. Sure enough, same as he thought. It was indeed a demon god's tool. "Unfortunately, it seems you were mistaken. There isn't even an undead creature here, let alone a Death Knight. You know that for high-level undead creatures like Death Knights, if there isn't a necromancer continuously providing magic power, the summoning will be cancelled, right? So places where Death Knights appear will surely have demon summoners." "Do you mean there are demons in the forest?" "But this is the capital of El Salvikia, the city of Belkia." "That's right. Cyron students all know there's large-scale star magic around Belkia. That is the magic circle laid by progenitor Lady Luna. Demons absolutely cannot approach. There's no rule that a necromancer must be a demon. Races other than demons can also use dark power. Of course elves can too." Hearing this, Louder revealed a faint smile. "Your idea is truly interesting. I'm afraid you don't know elves are a race with extremely strong pride, right? Continue investigating. We will meet at the forest entrance." And Leoplav realized this guy was definitely looking for something. And Runia also realized that Leoplav definitely knew something in turn. That night, everyone gathered together to discuss. They didn't find traces of undead creatures. creatures, and Chelsea Llewellyn felt very suspicious. After all, the council leader also confirmed the appearance of undead creatures. Why did they all disappear when we investigated? On the other side, Leo Plov secretly came out of the room. He quickly went to the Siren Academy dorm hotel and subsequently found Louder's dormitory. This guy sure enough isn't here. Just then, Leo Plov noticed a map on the table. Isn't this the entrance to the forest? Suddenly, Runia also appeared through the window. What are you doing now? Seeing this, Leo Plov immediately covered her mouth. I came to find Louder, but he isn't here anymore. He definitely went to the fairy forest. Just then a voice came from outside the door. Didn't Louder say he wanted to sleep early? Why is there still sound in the room? Immediately, Leo Plov decisively grabbed Runia and jumped out of the room. At the same time, Iron, who was reading, seemed to sense something, subsequently coming to the window to observe. Unexpectedly, she saw Leo Plov holding Runia, which gave her a scare. Could it be they are actually dating? At this moment, Runia followed Leo Plov to the forest. So do you think this matter is related to Senior Louder? Just then, Iron suddenly appeared behind the two. You guys can't do this. Iron, when did you get here? Improper dating among students is forbidden. Hearing this, Runia was stunned at her words. What are you talking about? I saw it all. You two were sneaking out of the dorm. Iron, you completely misunderstood. Isn't that right, Runia? Say something. Yes, Iron misunderstood everything. It's not like that at all. Just then, Leo Plov sensed a great danger. A hand broke out of the earth. It's an undead creature. This is big trouble. Immediately, Leo Plov readied himself for battle. These are all high-ranking undead skeleton knights. Runia had already condensed magic power. The next second, she suddenly unleashed Firestorm. A raging fire instantly surrounded the undead creature. Just as she thought everything ended here, unexpectedly the undead creature rushed out of the fire swinging a sword at her. In this nick of time, Iron raised her shield to block the monster's attack. Leo Plov noticed this familiar skill, and this was exactly Belkia's elf magic, Animus Armor. At this moment, Iron suddenly swung a sword. The powerful sword aura cut off the monster's head. Immediately after, a purple flame swallowed it completely. As expected of Iron, you look just like Belkia, so why did you two come here at night? We were just investigating the third-year dormitory. However, speaking of which, if we were dating, wouldn't it benefit you because you would have one less competitor? That's not true. Runia, you are the most outstanding student. I hope you can always stay on top. You are someone who will become a hero in the future. At this moment, Runia was stunned on the spot, so she thought this way of me. Back then, in the Siren Academy duel test, Runia thought that only Iron could be her rival, so she decided to go all out. Alongside this, Runia's expression became a lot more fierce, but seeing this, Iron was suddenly shocked to see Runia's expression. At this time, Runia finally knew why Iron was afraid of going to school. Iron, you are my friend. I hope you can continue attending school. Just like this, Iron and Runia became friends, and both regarded the other as a rival to compete with forever. So, you guys really aren't a couple? On the other side, the Death Knight muttered, Mage, you were followed. Damn uninvited guests. Shouldn't this problem be solved by your knights? Death Knight Karger, the hooded mage, revealed himself as Louder. Hearing this, Karger was very unhappy. Are you treating us like slaves to order around? You shouldn't forget, that great Lich King chose me. As long as the summoning circle is completed, I don't need the help of you Tartarus anymore. But before that, I'll be counting on you. Of course, Karger revealed an intriguing expression. On the other side, Iron learned about the abnormality in the fairy forest was related to Senior Louder, but Runia thought this was just Leo Plov's one-sided story. Just then, the group felt the surroundings seemed to become much colder, while Leo Plov started to feel the power of the curse. Subsequently, Leo Plov opened 2 summoning circles. Immediately after, Fiora and Fairy Kirin were summoned by Leo Plov. Seeing this, Runia rushed in front of the two immediately. Fiora, I am Big Sister Runia, do you still remember me? Leo Plov introduced them. Fiora is the baby phoenix, while Kirin is the fairy prince. We're heading to the deeper part of the forest now. From now on, it's going to be brutal. Subsequently, the group hacked through difficulties. On the path forward, they eliminated many undead creatures, but undead creatures kept appearing ceaselessly before the group, and Iron soon realized there must be a necromancer nearby. The next second, Leo Plov condensed flames on his sword. He swung his swords at the multiple undead in front of him, and he burned the surrounding undead creatures completely. And Leo Plov realized that there wasn't a necromancer present. This isn't the doing of a necromancer. This is the curse of the dead, a curse that continuously summons undead creatures nearby, turning this area into a land of death. And the caster is exactly Tartarus's Legion commander, Lich King Hellkaiser. Are you saying Tartarus targeted El Salvikia? Just as the group wanted to go back to report to the professor, an ominous magic power instantly filled the surroundings. Hero candidates, I welcome your arrival, coming to this land of death. The next second, the Death Knight suddenly launched an attack on Leo Plov. You absolutely cannot escape here today. I'll make you regret entering this forest. Leave this dark night to me. Iron, take care of the undead creatures. Runia, you prepare your strongest magic. Did you actually choose to fight me this time? Foolish fellow, I won't let you have your way. The next second, the giant sword in the Dark Knight's hand suddenly exerted force. Seeing this, Leo Plov immediately used Serdinger's secret swordsmanship, Prominence. A pillar of fire straightly shattered the Dark Knight's bullhorn. Damn, this is a phoenix flame. Before it could react, Leo Plov launched another attack on it. Amidst the Dark Knight's shocked gaze, the giant sword in its hand was actually melted by the flame. Seeing this, the Dark Knight immediately retreated, dodging Leo Plov's sword. This guy's combat experience far exceeds mine. Is this really a first-year student? And this look in his eyes are very familiar. At the same time, a dazzling firelight struck. Subsequently, a huge fireball condensed in the sky. Accompanying Runia's cold laugh, a huge pillar of fire descended from the sky, eliminating all the undead creatures. That's what happens when you mess with me. And Leo Plov on the side gazed not far away and fell into deep thought. It's not over yet. Let's catch up quickly. Soon, the group discovered the entire forest was filled with the curse of the dead. Just then, Louder's voice rang out. First-year students, who allowed you to investigate this forest at night? Lumern Academy first-year representative, your discipline is very poor. Senior Louder, why are you here? Undead creatures appeared in this forest. I am investigating the cause. The appearance of undead creatures is because there is a powerful ancient curse here. Are you saying there is a curse here? The curse aura is so strong, yet he actually doesn't have any feelings stealing? Among them earned first-year students, some accidentally used Tartarus's items. Those students used dark power without knowing. At this time, Leoplav shot out a magic signal light into the sky, but you knowingly cooperating with Tartarus. And here you are, using monster blood and guts as the catalyst for your black magic necromancy. Truly an infuriating and stupid human. First-year representative, you shouldn't know Lady Luna's hero record lies here. Hearing this, everyone present felt incomparably shocked. Incompetent El Salvikia doesn't know that thing is here. Is it wrong to use Tartarus to retrieve our legacy? This is blasphemy against the great hero. Just as the two prepared to teach Louder a lesson, Leoplav interrupted. You must fight with the determination to kill the senior. At the same time, Louder used his spell, Lee Ezernia, to attack Leoplav and the others. But Leoplav used the exact same spell, Lee Ezernia, to negate the attack. Get a grip. This is what fighting against Tartarus is like. A mere human actually able to use original star magic. Who exactly are you to actually use magic to cancel it out in such a short time and instantly identify me as an enemy? His judgment and combat level are elite level, plus those two will become a serious problem if they join too. Subsequently, he used dark magic. Fortunately, Leoplav reacted quickly, pushing the two away. The area exploded, blasting the space into pieces, and Iron was able to shield Runia from the blast. Was that the spell, La Tiarga? Just now, for a basic spell, it was incredibly powerful, and at this time they discovered Leoplav actually fell at Louder's feet. Unexpectedly, the Dark Knight suddenly appeared before their eyes as well. Hero candidates, it ends here for you. Iron, buy me some time. Do you have anything to say before dying? It looks like you are confident. The next second, Kieran appeared in time, interrupting Louder's magic. The magic he was channeling malfunctioned. It exploded, knocking Louder flying away, and when he came back to his senses, Leoplav had already arrived in front of him. Is this guy actually going to kill me? Without the slightest hesitation, Leoplav cut off his head with one slash. Alright, we finally dealt with that crazy elf. But just then, Kieran was hit with the spell, Lee Ezernia, using original star magic, possessing summoning ability. Leoplav, you really have talent. I'm truly glad that I can be the one to kill you. The Lich King's power is not bad either. If adding Progenitor Luna's power, then I can trample you geniuses completely. It looks like you have already been swallowed by the darkness. The next second, Louder instantly released dark magic. Seeing this, Leoplav immediately swung his sword, cutting it open. However, you didn't completely accept the dark power yet. Immediately after, Leoplav cut off Louder's right hand with a slash, accompanying the right hand falling to the ground. At this moment, Louder let out painful wails. Those who became strong through abnormal means usually lack battle sense. If you have the ability, regenerate and see. I will keep chopping until your mana is exhausted. Just then a whisper appeared in Louder's ear. You seem to have suffered quite a bit. Mage, the person in front isn't your goal, right? Hurry and complete the summoning circle and find the powers sleeping in this land. Hearing this, Louder's severed hand began to move. At the same time, Leoplav noticed the two were joining forces to deal with Karger. Looks like leaving it to them was correct. Just then, Leoplav noticed that Louder's right hand hasn't regenerated yet. Leoplav looked over there quickly. Louder's severed hand had already drawn the entire summoning circle. It's already too late. Louder sprayed fresh blood onto the summoning circle. Immediately after, the summoning circle emitted bursts of red light. Subsequently, countless dark magic powers gathered in Louder's body. At the same time, a giant hand suddenly extended from the underground. Damn, what exactly is that thing? Skeleton King. That is one of the most powerful undead creatures in the world. At this moment, Louder's right hand was regenerating rapidly. Is this the Lady Progenitor's power? Damn, did he fully accept dark magic through the summoning circle? That kind of filthy power cannot be Luna's. Do you truly think so? The next second, Louder controlled the giant hand to attack Leoplav. Seeing this, Leoplav immediately used Aura Step to dodge it. At this time, Louder shouted incredibly crazily, even the Lich King's power doesn't matter anymore, because I have completely mastered it. Leoplav, how about we retreat first? That big guy is truly too difficult to deal with. But Leoplav refused on the spot. The Skeleton King wasn't summoned by normal means. It looks like he hastily signed a contract with Hellkaiser, thereby summoning the Skeleton King. He hardly meets the summoning conditions, meaning he cannot maintain the summoned state for long. The most basic rule of summoning is needing the aid of spiritual power to maintain the summon. We just need to stall until Louder's magic power is exhausted. So, Kieran, please assist me now. No problem. Leave it to me. The next second, Leoplav used light magic to instantly severely injure the Skeleton King. At the same time, the Skeleton King wielded a giant sword chopping towards Leoplav, but he managed to leap into the air to dodge it. And just as he landed, Louder used dark magic to attack straight towards him. In this nick of time, Runia manifested a Phoenix Shield spell to block the magic. Leoplav, just focus on dealing with the Skeleton King. Leave Senior Louder to me. But can Iron deal with Karger alone? Don't you trust Iron? It was Iron who requested to duel it alone. On the other side, Iron was engaging Karger. You are truly too arrogant to actually request a duel with me. At this moment, Iron doubted her ability very much. Can I really defeat it alone? But she knew deeply that if she couldn't do it, then others would fall into danger. The next second, Iron pierced Karger's abdomen, but unexpectedly, Karger countered with a punch, knocking Iron flying away. Compared to those two, you are simply too terrible. And Iron affirmed this. After all, those two will definitely become great heroes in the future. But don't forget, there are always disciples following those great heroes. My ancestor Lord Belkia followed those great heroes' footsteps and made an oath to never doubt those great heroes, no matter what. Is that fairy power? Without the slightest hesitation, Karger immediately launched an attack. This is a technique passed down by ancestors for generations. Power capable of dispelling infinite power of death. This was evergreen, and in that moment, she easily finished the battle in one strike. At this moment, Karger couldn't believe it. I was actually taken out by a brat like that. At the same time, Iron still wanted to help Leoplav and Runia, but the next second, she fainted on the spot due to using up all her magic power. What's wrong, first-year representative? Are you done already? He shot dark magic straight towards Leoplav, and at this time, Runia summoned the flame turtle to block the magic, immediately after reflecting the dark magic to hit Louder instead. Do you think I will stay obediently in place to be hit by you? The flame tortoise is a fire system defensive massive summon beast. Try dealing with this one too. Runia stepped out a magic circle under her feet. Subsequently, a fireball appeared before Louder. The next second, a loud explosion came, and Louder was instantly swallowed by a burst of flame. Louder fell to the ground, covered in burn marks. This is nothing much. Just as Runia prepared to leave here, at this moment Louder raised his hand, releasing dark magic. Countless black thorns hit Runia straight on. Runia, are you alright? But just then, a big hand attacked straight towards Leoplav, slapping him away, crashing into the trees in an explosion. Under Kieran's shouting, Leoplav finally woke up, but his left arm was heavily damaged. At the same time, the Skeleton King used the skill Cry of the Dead. Damn, actually using the worst possible curse in this situation. Without the slightest hesitation, Leoplav immediately summoned Fiora. Amidst Fiora's loud shouting, everyone's bodies gradually recovered, summoning Incarnation. The next second, Fiora turned into a ball of flame, condensing on Leoplav's sword. At this moment, the Skeleton King wielded a giant sword, attacking Leoplav, so Leoplav leaped into the air to dodge it. Leoplav looked like a hero fearless of death, just like a true hero. Runia couldn't help but admire this sight. Flame Tortoise, you worked hard. Go back and rest first. Subsequently, Runia condensed fire magic in her hand, immediately after throwing it in front of Louder. Runia, why has the flame you brag about every time become so weak? What can you do with this little flame? The flames of House Rondoa. Our family has been the sworn kin of the Phoenix for generations. The first ancestor once made an oath, even if burning himself to death, he would burn Tartarus. At this time, Louder realized something was wrong, because this flame simply couldn't be extinguished. This flame will never go out until every demon is burned to ash. However, your left is demonic, isn't it? This magic is called Sacred Flame, the Rondoa family's forbidden secret technique that burns even oneself to ash. Damn, this girl must be crazy. I absolutely won't let you go. But the next second, the flame suddenly disappeared from the spot. It looks like your magic power is exhausted, just as he prepared to use dark magic. At this moment, the ring emitted a black aura, immediately after instantly swallowing Louder completely, until all that's left was the ring. Damn, what exactly happened? And the necromancer is dead. Why does the Skeleton King still exist? At the same time, a scarlet power emitted from the ring. It was controlling the Skeleton King, and Leoplav was very surprised, because this magic power was exactly the Lich King's. Hurry and complete your mission. At this moment, the Skeleton King raised its sword up high. This really is the Lich King Hellkaiser's power. He's channeling power through a demonic artifact. At this time, Leoplav noticed the Skeleton King was advancing towards the entrance to the fairyland. Kieran, assist me quickly. Just before the Skeleton King could attack the barrier, Leoplav immediately blocked the Skeleton King's attack. However, the power of the Skeleton King was indeed great. This is bad. The barrier was starting to break. The Skeleton King suddenly exerted extreme force, and Leoplav was knocked flying away. Damn, the fairyland's barrier was broken. At this moment, the barrier to fairyland had actually broke. Right after the barrier was broken, Fiora and Kieran quickly found Leoplav. At this time, Leoplav noticed all his aura and magic power were exhausted. It looks like this is the fairyland. I didn't expect it to become so desolate. At this moment, Leoplav noticed the weapon placed on the stone steps on the side. Isn't this what I gave away 5,000 years ago? Back then, Kyle gave this weapon to Belkia. At first, she disliked this weapon for being ugly and hard to use, but Kyle told her this was a treasure that followed him in battle for many years. A moment later, Luna called over Kyle so they could set off. We have to go. We'll see you later, kid. Later, Kyle's group engaged Erebus, but never came out of the portal again. That cheeky little runt. Didn't she say back then she didn't need it? The next second, the weapon emitted a burst of blue light. This surprised Leoplav because the weapon overflowed with mana. Subsequently, the light was pouring rapidly into Leoplav's body. This dagger contains thousands of years of magic power. Upon sensing the master, it responded. Now possessing this powerful magic power, Leoplav was very curious what kind of magic he can exactly cast. Just then, a fire magic hit the Skeleton King straight on. These kids have grown up quite well. At this moment, Runia was trying to use magic to stop the Skeleton King's advance, but the next second, a golden light shot into the sky. If you are a Phoenix's contractor, then this much is expected of you. At the same time, Leoplav held a dazzling star in his hand. Although not comparable to the original, this gift is very special for the children. At this time, countless stars shone in the sky. Iron had read in ancient documents, a star spell could bathe the world in morning stars. That was the strongest ultimate incantation. The next second, the stars hit the Skeleton King straight on. Spell, Apocalypse, and subsequently the star collided with the Skeleton King and turned into ashes, disappearing from the spot. A moment later, Leoplav walked elegantly out of the fairyland, and Kieran planned to finish the Skeleton King. He's been dealt with now. You go find your wings first. At the same time, Iron and Runia found Leoplav. What was that magic just now? It felt like something straight out of a legend. This dagger contained a large amount of magic power. Seems to be something related to the great hero. So Tartarus came here for this? Just then, Kieran excitedly found Leoplav. I found the wings my dad hid. But Runia was very puzzled. Isn't that a fragment of a hero record? Accompanying Leoplav unlocking the seal. The next second, a window prompt came from the front. Hero record opened. World of blank. Chapter blank. Immediately after, the three were transported to the hero world. What place is this exactly? Subsequently, a voice came from the front. Can you really defeat Erebus? Leoplav recognized immediately. This voice is, you must be crazy, but I like this challenge of subjugating Erebus very much. You said your name is blank, right? At this moment, Leoplav finally understood what exactly Tartarus wanted to obtain. My name is Luna. One day, I will shine like the stars. I am honored to join your party. That's right, this is a hero record fragment of the hero of the beginning, Kyle.